realm of Ayara with all of you. Uh, Valerie, I'm ready to go whenever you are. We're good? Bueno. So, my friend, when last we left off, our companions were split in two. 3 of you following the forms of your other 2 allies into a hedge maze in the castle grounds of Dinasundad. There, you thwarted Doppelganger, Changeling, in the form of your friends Ophalon and Juniper, as they attempted to assault the Lady Caradwyn within the maze. Seeing that some questions needed to be asked and answered, the Lady Caradwyn invited all of you back to her chambers. We began to discuss the situation, talking about an organization known as the Court of Whispers, mentioning their ties to doppelgangers and changelings and the like, and also their fascination with powerful magic. Meanwhile, the real Ophalon and Juniper were trapped somewhere in a subterranean series of tunnels. Here, they were being held captive by another changeling, although this one had the lower body of an immense swollen spider, which did not change form with the rest of her features. Through a bit of assistance from Juniper's patron and the ring that was gifted as a boon at the beginning of Juniper's journey, the 2 of you were able to escape this place, arriving just a few miles outside of the city. You slowly but surely made your way back, being accosted by some guards who brought the 2 of you up to be reunited with the rest of your allies. However, something is not quite right, because Juniper and Ophalon have returned sans their shadows. Something that must be remedied soon, lest there be dire consequences. And so, we return now to the land of gods and giants, with all of you having been reunited together in the chambers of the Lady Caradwyn, who has just stepped out of the room to go and fetch her sister, so that the 2 of them can answer any other questions that you might have. But yes, the 5 of you have returned. You are once again together. The real Ophalon and Juniper, not, you know.
Are you
For now.
guys alright?
We had a very bad day.
I can tell.
Don't know who or what, but some spider lady who could change her face was holding us hostage in a cave.
That
We're
sounds
upside
horrific.
down too.
In a giant spider web.
I don't like that.
No, I didn't like it either.
Sounds overall unpleasant.
How did you guys get out?
I don't like that one bit.
What did you guys do? How did you like coax her and suggest questionable things?
We tried getting out of the webs, but Juniper starts fidgeting with her ring. My patron helped.
Why do I feel like that's gonna bite us in the ass later?
I don't know. I think it's got a thing for her.
What?
That wasn't. That definitely was not giant.
He did
Should-
give you a ring after all.
That's what I
Should we
think.
be expected to come across this spider individual later?
Well,
You think they're gonna come after you?
given the fact that our friends do not have shadows, we probably will have to deal with that.
They,
Yeah, that's true.
whoever it was, said that we now belong to the Court of Whispers. Whatever the fuck that means.
A court of whispers.
That
Do
sounds
I
like-
know anything about?
It sounds like you didn't consent to that at all.
You guys have just recently heard about the Court of Whispers. And in fact, I'll say at this bit of prompting of conversation, a soft knock back at the door, and the Lady Caradwyn returns here to her chambers along with her sister, Rhiannon. And she looks over Rhiannon looks over all of you, kind of narrows her eyes and looks at her sister and says, "You've been collecting people again, dear sister." And Caradwyn just kind of waves her hand and says, "The Court of Whispers is at work, dear sister," and gestures to all of you, having just heard portion of your conversation. And Lady Caradwyn reiterates, the Court of Whispers are they've grown to a bit of prominence in the twin cities, the twin elven cities to the north, operating primarily out of Aphanaith. Have made a bit of a presence within Eothlin as well.
Wait, like they're popular?
No, they're a crime organization.
Oh, okay. That made me much more concerned. I was like, I don't want to go anywhere near those places.
Yeah, they've got some sort of renown for being, good criminals.
Good criminals or the worst criminals, depending on how you want to look at it, says the
Yeah,
Lady
that's-
Rhiannon.
I look at it.
Lady Rhiannon kind of relaxes her shoulders for a second, and she says, "Well, if the lot of you are wrapped up in with the Court of Whispers, then I suppose it's only right that my sister brought you in here." And you see Caradwyn kind of nudges her sister in the side and points towards Ophalon and Juniper, and sure enough, in the light coming through the windows here on this fine summer day, no shadows are cast by Ophalon or Juniper upon the floor here inside the castle. Rhiannon nods. She says, "Well, shit."
Right, do you know how to fix that? What are we
They-
going to have to do?
The two look at each other. And they say, Caradwyn says, "Well, generally, reattaching a shadow is no more difficult than removing a shadow if you have the proper implement. But in order to retrieve a shadow from that's been taken by a shape changer or a changeling, it's not the easiest thing to do. You will have to find whichever changeling is housing the shadow and take it from them, but if you kill the changeling, then every shadow that it has absorbed will die with it."
So my shadow can die?
Yes.
What happens if our shadows die?
Well, if your shadows die, then there's no way to reattach them. Which means that, well, inevitably you will just become changelings yourselves.
Well, what's so wrong with that?
That sounds kind of cool. Like,
I'm quite partial to how I look now.
You can still look that way.
I mean, like, I'm all for consent and whatnot, but it still sounds pretty neat.
I
You
should
just look any other way you want
I'm
to.
sorry,
I suppose.
I should restate. You will become changelings, and your consciousness will become a pool for.
Right, because they're hive minds.
Correct.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's
So
not gonna be good.
we will not, we will lose Juniper and Aufalon. They will
Yeah,
become
that's-
a part of a hive mind, and they will be
Yeah.
gone forever.
How do we
Yeah,
find
this
our
is
shadows?
enough of a hive mind. We don't need no more.
Well, first we need to determine exactly which members of the Court of Shadows have taken your or of the Court of Whispers have taken your shadows. That's
Well,
very important.
we have
Mine's
our
an asshole.
we
My
Yeah,
doppelganger.
that-
He's kind of an asshole.
we have our connection to it though, and us knowing about Nil definitely gives us the upper hand, I think.
It's true.
Nil.
Nil. Oh, right. Nil is the do you remember when
Oh,
we
that
were
blue-
when we
that
were on
blue-haired
the
she-devil?
we were on the coast and we saw that person playing the flute,
She was
and I had a
playing
weird feeling about it.
She was playing the music the night before the festival. That's the last thing Ophel and I remember. We left our rooms, and then we woke up in the cave.
Yep.
Is it possible that that person could be a changeling?
Rhiannon gives a short laugh and she says, "Is it possible? She's the damn ringleader of the whole operation."
Well, okay.
Fuck.
I didn't know that. All right, you ain't gotta treat me like no low down. No.
I'd say it shouldn't be that hard to find him because
Ah.
how many people are in this town are blue. But
Hey God,
Hmm.
because I can't remember because it was a few sessions ago. Do we recall a grung as well?
You recall from that night, you saw the woman with the blue hair. You saw a small red-skinned grung in piratey garb, we'll say, a lot of silks, multicolored silks and such. And then you heard a really creepy voice from behind you guys, and you're pretty certain that that was the spider creature that you were dealing with in the cave.
Yeah. No, it was the blue-haired lady. She was playing a flute, and there was a Juniper, being a little frazzled at the concept of losing her sense of self because of her lost shadow, points at Amenda.
Yeah.
There was a dude that looks like Amenda, red skin, pirate clothes.
Okay, that's yeah. Okay, we need to let's investigate that.
You see,
I want my shadow back.
you see, Rhiannon kind of narrows her eyes and looks at you, Amenda, and she says, "You have knowledge of one of these folk. I'm not." And she looks at her sister and says, "We know of Nil. We know of this spider-like woman. The grung is new."
Yeah, well, she was one of mine. You see, I used to lead a group of grung on the seas, and it seems she might have sold us out, and that's ultimately why I'm here, is to find her.
Curdwin nods. Rhea, she says, "Very well. Yes, it is very imperative that for the two of you," and she points at Ophalon and Juniper, you need retrieve your shadow by the end of summer. or you'll find yourselves lost to the Court of Shadows, or the Court of Whispers. Keep wanting to say the Court of Shadows. To the Court of Whispers for, well, you'll be the Court of Whispers at that point. So,
How many days is it until the end of summer?
Well,
Well-
today's one.
today is the first day of summer.
That is true. What is it? I don't really know. I spend my time on the sea.
We
All
have
I see
until
is the
Mabon,
sun.
right?
Yes, you would have until. I didn't open the calendar.
It's Mabon. It is the. It is the equinox for
I'm
fall.
also bad at season times.
Well, I mean, technically, yeah.
personally.
The Altana. Yeah.
And even
I
that,
grew
or
up in
it's Luvish
California, All
stuff.
I had was summer.
It's not.
I'm pretty sure it's Mabon.
Is it Mabon or
Yeah.
is it Luna?
I think. Oh crap! Now I'm all messed up
Lufthansa?
with it. No, it It goes
Either way.
I don't typically have.
Oh no,
I don't
it's
typically think this
it's,
forward ahead, but
it's Ludnishta,
Yes.
August 1st.
Mm.
August 1st. So you have basically a few months.
I don't think that's how that's pronounced. Give me a second.
Lady Rhiannon,
What?
her name is Rhiannon, isn't it?
Yeah. No, but what did you say? I think I speak for all of
I
us.
s-
What?
I said Lady Rhiannon.
I heard what he said. I heard Lady Rhiannon.
Pretty
I
strong.
speak for me then.
Lunasa is how you would say it. Lunasa. Coolio. Sorry, I went full focus there for a second. I apologize.
Waiting for Kyle.
I think Kyle's also looking up a thing.
I know.
I also have a question for Kyle. He comes back. I also hit my microphone with my magnet wheel.
Whack.
I'm gonna go get my present really quick. I will be right
You
back.
have a present?
Those are fun fidget
it's
toys.
it's from Jacob. It was a gift from Jacob. I'll be right back.
Mm.
Oh no,
Oh, no.
Kyle died.
No!
Oh, I think
I was
it's
wondering
Here,
why
I'll
he was so
pause-
quiet for so long.
I'll
Kyle
pause
died.
this.
Did you hear Travis ask you his final question?
I don't think so.
Travis.
Oh, I had asked Lady Rhiannon.
He asked attention.
Yes.
Is there some way that we might be able to like, trying to think of the best way to phrase it? It doesn't sound quite so simple. So clearly we have a connection to this court through our shadows, right?
Something like that, yes.
Is there any way we could use that to like kind of like following a string backwards up to the spool?
Like track it.
Yeah, but like follow it back through like whatever magic they've used.
She.
Follow the magic to its source.
Lady Rhiannon kind of looks at you and she just shrugs and she says, that'd be more of a question for my sister. I'm not really as well versed in magic. And Caradwin steps and she says, there are ways potentially to make an attempt at some sort of work of magic. I'm not so certain about tracking in exactly the way that you're wanting, but there might be a way. With a bit of a more potent form of divination. Yes.
Will we be able to divine from like a shadow? See if we can, follow it?
No, but I think I might be able to engineer a bit of a scrying to find your shadow rather than find yourself. It might take me a little bit of time, but I'm happy to give it a try. You see Rhiannon just nods and she says, well, look. The woman, Nil, that you spoke of, she is very dangerous. She's a murderer, a cutthroat. She's stolen a lot of things. And it looks like she's been stealing quite a bit since she got here as well. And this, my dear sister, and she looks over at Caradwin and says, is why I questioned the thought process behind your grand presentation today. And you see Caradwin kind of blushes a little bit and readjusts her glasses and said, well, it worked. They showed themselves. They showed that they were here. So
You placed a magical trap, and that's impressive.
I placed a magical trap with very real bait.
I will be right back.
I mean,
Got it.
riddle bait's always the best, right?
Something like that.
If the scry doesn't work, I might be able to help a bit. My employer, is quite adept at finding things.
Your employer? What,
Yeah,
you gotta...
we'll call it that.
Yeah.
I just need to
That's what we'll
contact
call
them.
I think, go ahead, my dear, Kyra, and make a, perception check for me.
Sam, Gid. Okay.
It is a bright summer day right now.
Okay. Did it for the roleplay. Did it for the roleplay.
Did you?
Okay. Okay, I got an 18 on the first roll, and then I got a 13 on the second roll, and I have, so that's a 15 total? No, 16 total.
16 total.
No,
Yeah,
17 total. It's a plus 4.
17. Got it. You see, you mention an employer, and you just say, and you just kind of say, that's what we'll call it. And I think you notice a little glimmer of something go across Caradwin's eyes as she kind of looks you up and down before she gives a little smile and just nods.
She knows. She knows.
Caradwin looks at you all and says, but I should be able to put something together with my friend's help here. And she gestures to the small cauldron that has never left her side. Little sparks of silver magic come out of it when it's addressed.
Is it like a familiar?
Something like that, yes. And you see it tilts a little bit and drips some of the liquid onto her shoes. And she backs away and it's like, don't be rude. You are kind of like a familiar. And the cauldron just kind of lets out a bunch of more silver sparks in quick succession.
I didn't mean to insult. I apologize.
No,
Yeah, it
he's just being grumpy because he hasn't been officially introduced yet.
Does he have a name?
He does. This is Awen.
Does he shake hands?
He doesn't have hands.
It
He's
might
got
a
like
little handle.
clawed like lower portions to keep him up off the ground, but I don't think I suppose I shouldn't assume.
You see not anything physical that could be grabbed, but the sparks, which I think now some of you are starting to recognize as like basically a prestidigitation spell that keeps going off. You see this time it makes a bunch of sparks, but right in the center is a little hand that just gives a little wave before it disperses.
Can I roll
What's
an
up,
insight
man?
to what the Awen is?
Sure. Actually, it would probably be Arcana.
I'm not playing Corey this week. I don't have a +9.
I would also allow religion, but it'll be different answers depending on which one you choose.
Alright, for religion, because I actually have a plus to that one. Wait, is that? Oh no, it's a 19. Hog. 22.
22. Alright. She says, yeah, you, with a 22, I think you recognize the word, Awen. You have maybe not heard it in a name context before, but Awen is a word in Giant, which means inspiration. Or like artisanal inspiration, poetic inspiration. That's that's, and there is a certain subset of bards throughout the world that will say that the Awen, that the Awen is their muse, the inspiration of the inspiration of creation. Funnily enough.
I don't mean to intrude or overstep. Is the cauldron filled of just creativity?
She smiles, and she said, Caradwin smiles, and her eyes flash a little bit of green. The cauldron this time makes bubbles at the top of its surface, and Caradwin says, Awen is everything. It's a living embodiment of the creativity, the inspiration, the energy of force and life that flows through the entire world. It has existed since the dawn of Bruin, and it will exist long past any of us, and I'm very lucky to call him my friend. You see, and it's very strange to hear, I think for all of you, to hear that these this little cauldron, which is truly like smaller than most people use to cook in, is full of this silver magic, and yet apparently it is all of this collective magic all in one place, or an embodiment of that. But yeah.
That is remarkable. That is just amazing. Oh, he turned Australian. That was weird. I normally can't do an Australian accent. I'm very, very under the influence right now.
That thing is so. Why am I doing it? God damn it!
Played for a few weeks.
That sounds like a skill issue, friends.
That thing is so.
You keep
powerful.
your mouth shut.
If
Keep
anything,
it out of this.
It's familiar.
See,
That's pretty funny.
she says, she smiles a bit, and she's like, we have a partnership. And the sparks come back to the top, and it makes a little thumbs up. hand motion in the sparks. Caradwin smiles and says, "But I think between the two of us, we should be able to figure something out to trace those that have taken your shadow. For now, though, it'll take a bit of time. I'll basically have to create a new ritual spell. It'll take a bit of time. But once we have that done, we will we'll see what we can do." You see, she just gives a little smile, and her sister Rhiannon kind of crosses her arms and says, "But now we worry, or I'm just going to be worried about where they've gotten to within our city." And she
Could be
looks at
everywhere.
baby. She looks at Ophalon and Juniper and says, "And the very fact that, well, the two of you are here with us, but the two of you might very well be in the city somewhere causing a ruckus. So, I'll be on the lookout for that."
At the notion of that, Ophalon's eyes kind of go wide, and he smiles. He's like, "Oh, I always thought it'd be cool to fight myself."
Why does that not?
It is
surprise
pretty
me?
cool to fight you.
You kind of took a hit to the balls like a bitch, though.
I mean, he did.
Right, but he had your body, so...
Just because he looks like me doesn't mean he has my pain threshold.
Well,
Wait,
Would
so
you want to find out?
we
you
can
can
always see
you
if
can
that's
just
the
take
case.
a knee to the balls? Mind
my
you,
legs are squishy. It
mind
might be
you,
a little
the
blubby lazy
princesses of the Elven Kingdom are standing right here as we have this conversation.
Ophalon's thinking to himself, "Do I want to let you and try to break his fucking toes on the steel cup in my codpiece or not?"
My
Juniper's
God,
reaction-
these-
Juniper's reaction to this conversation. Wait, you fought us?
Yes,
Yeah,
you
y'all
tried to
kinda
attack.
easy, though.
You tried to attack Lady Caradwin.
Fight is
Oh.
really a strong word for what occurred.
Yeah,
if
we
I'm
kind of
being
beat your
totally honest.
asses.
Yeah, it was kind of like a jumping, you know.
It really was.
I bet it's because they
That's
weren't
a-
sent to you
that
guys,
is a
though.
in-character
Yeah.
laugh.
This is the first time that Kyra and Omenda have like agreed on something, and they're just giggling together. And Ewan is trying to save face.
I tried to tie you up like I tried to tie up everybody, I guess, but you know,
Do you have a thing for that?
yeah, I got the rope and the manacles.
That's not what I meant.
Yeah.
Is it a thing for you, Amanda? Does it make you happy?
Oh, I'll be happy once I got Vargas in fucking chains.
Just
Yes.
Quick interjection. The conversation about Lady Caradwin's what Arwen? Is that what you said his name was?
Awen.
Arwen.
Awen.
When we have a little bit of free time, Lady Caradwin, could you maybe show me a thing or two? I have difficulty controlling my magic sometimes.
You see, she smiles and says, "Perhaps if we have time, yes, I would be happy to." Rhiannon looks outside at the sun that is starting to descend a bit lower at this point. She says, "But I think before we get to all of that, there is a dinner to attend." And Caradwin claps her hands together. "Yes, and all of you shall be attending as my guests, as thanks for rescuing me within the hedge maze."
Don't
I'm-
be surprised if I'm not there, but there's a, the numbers match up. Okay.
And
If you would like to make yourselves presentable, take some time. And her chambers, by the way, is like a whole wing of the castle. So there's, little en-suites here, and there's baths for anybody that would like a bath, and there's kind of fresher clothes if you would like some fresher clothes.
do we smell?
If you
I
would
know I
like
do.
to come to dinner as you are, that's totally fine.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I am going to.
Well, you've been all tied up in webbing all day. I'm sure you'd like
yeah,
a...
I'm gonna take a bath and change my clothes. I feel gross.
I wouldn't mind a bit of a soak.
And
If it would be at all possible, if I could have a cool tub set up for me to soak in.
Of course.
I feel gross and a bit violated considering somebody stole my shadow.
That's fair.
Can you guys feel them? The shadows, I mean?
I don't think so.
I don't feel anything.
Well. It's just such like such small talk.
I'm still trying to decide if I'm gonna wear these. I think Ewan is like staring wherever he ends up. I think he's just like staring at a pile of clean clothes and just like inspecting it without touching it.
If you think about it, my clothes are always clean, you know?
Oh, I did forget a bit of narration that we did kind of skip over in the last session. Ophalon and Juniper, you're reunited with your friends and all that. Ewan is being referred to as Ewan. Looks like a different guy.
All right. I think upon entering the room after sharing that they've had a very bad day, Juniper does a double take going, what happened to Ewan?
Growth spurt.
Did you get a haircut?
Kinda.
Your whole appearance has changed, Ewan. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, a bit of a growth spurt.
Fuck, you're right, yeah.
Hey, don't talk about changing in this room.
Kyra leans into Juniper. It's very distracting that he doesn't have a shirt on.
I'm gonna
He
turn
doesn't.
to this. He is
Juniper
Earth
covers her
creature.
mouth
He
and
is not a
snorts.
changeling.
I'm well aware. You see the Caradwin takes her hand and moves the curtain of red hair on the side of her head, and you see slightly long pointed ears hidden under her hair as well.
He's an Eladrin, right?
There are a lot of Eladrin in there are a lot of Eladrin in Eothlin. There are a few Eladrin in Aphonite. Aphonite is the Wood Elf city, and Eothlin is the city of the Eladrin, and it is where my father keeps the summer court.
See, I have a theory that he's a wood spirit, and he's decided that he's collecting us.
You see, she looks at you, and looks over at Ewan, and looks back at you and says, what day is today, my dear?
A Bieltana?
Did he look like that yesterday?
No.
He's an Eladrin.
So they are not mutually exclusive.
I mean, he could be an Eladrin and a wood spirit. That is definitely a possible thing to be. But he is certainly an Eladrin.
Honestly, that has been bugging me for a while.
She turns and looks at Ewan, and she says, "Dear lad, did you wake up in a tree?"
I mean, sort of.
He's an Eladrin.
See, I have a theory that he's just a bitch. No.
Rude.
You're fucked.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how to get him to stop doing that.
Refuses to listen.
He put the man in cuffs the first time we found him,
I'll show you how
Tried to
his
sell
and then
fucking-
tried to sell him.
Well, he was sneaking on top of the roof. I didn't know if he was
I
a
have
bad actor or
invited.
not.
I have
Hey.
invited you all to a very fancy dinner party. Please do not try to sell anyone at the table.
Him. Look at
There-
him.
There are going to be many priests in attendance.
Fuck.
You don't have to worry about the rest of us. Worry about him.
So don't try to sell anybody because there's gonna be a couple takers. Okay.
Ooh.
And then Juniper makes a pointed look at Ewan, Ophalon, and then Omenda, and no fighting.
I promise I won't fight.
That's a silly promise to make.
Excuse you.
Right.
If they throw their first punch, fine. But other than that, don't start anything.
I only fight when the situation calls for it or when everybody's down to do it.
Or when
I don't
there's
just go
money.
around throwing punches at people. Have any of you seen me just walk up to a random stranger and punch them in the face?
No, but you've talked about
I
it.
Okay then.
did see you guys stab a guard, though, if we're gonna be on the level here.
That wasn't me.
But it sure as hell looked like you.
I don't give a
So I
fuck who it
did
looks
see
like.
someone who appeared to be you. Do a
Good
little
for
bit of
you.
stabbing.
I just walk in between the two of them and shove their heads away from each other. All right, we have gotten our orders from the princesses of Eothran. We are going to listen to them. Everyone go into a different direction.
Oh man,
Saved by Kyra.
he jumps to the roof. And,
You guys have an
Juniper
hour or
stay-
so, about an hour and a half to take to yourselves to get ready. Juniper and Ophalon, as you are getting prepared and kind of, getting clean after being caught in spider webs and dealing with all of that bullshit, and then hiking back to the city, your muscles are just sore, and there's not really much anything you can do about it. It's just your shadow, but it definitely feels like part of your energy has been drained away. And for this moment, both of you are considered under the first level of exhaustion permanently. The longer
Fuck.
you go without your shadows, the higher up the exhaustion tree you will go. By the
All
end
right,
of
no one
summer-
else move.
By the end of summer, you will hit the final level of exhaustion, which will turn the two of you into NPCs under my control.
Uh-oh.
Fuck.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
That's
See,
rough.
I
That's
was
what you get for having a baby, Travis and Caitlin.
And then he,
I would like to just say
This little sweetheart.
Motherfucker.
I would like to just say that I was just talking to Jacob about I wonder when Kyle's gonna do it. I wonder when it's gonna stop being this whimsical, happy little place where nothing ever goes wrong. And we got to it a lot faster.
And I called it.
What? I started you with lovely little sea otter people, some demon
Yeah.
horses.
Yeah, with demon horses eating children.
Yeah.
It started off dark.
Listen, it's just the aesthetics that are pretty. This place is wild as shit. Two of you are in another campaign, and it's worse than this.
Yeah.
And it's earlier in time than this.
Oh god.
That's not good.
You guys are also in the wilds. But yeah.
We got to go save a Myconid colony.
So, yeah, first level of exhaustion is disadvantage on ability checks.
Yep.
The next level of exhaustion will be, I believe, half movement. So yeah, that's gonna keep happening. After time goes by, you all are able to kind of prep yourselves for dinner in whatever way you see fit. Omenda, what is your preferred visual for this evening?
He's definitely not gonna be like a nasty little Keith Richards frog. So he's gonna after he gets out of the tub, he'll put his hat back on and put his nasty little outfit back on because he's always gonna keep that on.
Yeah.
He'll go ahead and sloop his hat, and he'll turn into like a halfling male, just like a generic halfling male that's got a nice regular outfit on,
Yeah, Carl the Halfling. Got it.
Yep.
Our good friend Carl the Halfling.
In my my new Curse of Strahd game, one of the players is a kobold, and Madame Ava straight up told him, "You're going to give people heart attacks if you go into these villages," and handed him a pendant that has the function of a hat of disguise.
Yeah.
It's just it can only do one disguise, and it's a little halfling man. So he's been disguising himself as a halfling named Tom that has a completely separate personality from the actual kobold. And it took 4 sessions for the rest of the party to be like, hey guy, you don't have to have a completely new personality. It's literally just for the visual aesthetics.
Hey man, he's going all in.
You guys get cleaned up. You get yourselves into whatever sort of shape you want to be in for attending the feast. Nothing in the new clothes that are put out for all of you. Mostly they have tried to find fabrics and things that kind of match your aesthetic. So you're not getting really a whole new outfit here so much as you're getting nicer versions of your current outfit. Cleaner versions of your current outfit, I should say.
Oh my god, somebody actually sewed these pants with thread and needle. Insanity.
Yeah. Instead of a piece of bark and some horse tail hair that you,
not even truly just the willing the plants to weave themselves.
Yeah, there you
together.
go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that means Ewan has like actual fabric clothing, not things that have been stitched together by Druidcraft.
How does it feel? Does it feel all right?
It's really soft.
I'm assuming you like that.
I don't know yet.
Get back to me, all right?
I'll get back to you guys. He does not accept any kind of shirt. He truly just he's only wearing pants.
Yeah.
Are we gonna slowly add more pieces of clothing to your repertoire as the seasons pass?
As it gets colder, probably.
We should start with shoes next.
What if he wakes up in winter with like a lot more, grass and stuff on? So he's like more insulated.
But winter is the time of like death and whatnot. So wouldn't it be like dry grass?
Yeah.
I'm right fucking here.
That sounds very uncomfortable.
It might be warm though,
Well, I suppose we'll find out when winter comes.
I suppose.
A soft knock at the door. You see Caradwin and Rhiannon have returned. They look at all of you and nod and quick assessment and motion for you to follow them through the castle. The interior of the castle Dina Sundad here is the most impressive building any of you have been inside. The walls are so smooth and elegantly carved that once again you can't help but get that feeling that was this place built or was it truly brought up out of the white limestone that the cliffs are made of. It seems like it could be either or. It's just so well manicured and taken care of. There are portraits adorning the walls. There are lovely, suits of armor, representative of the guards of the Silver Hand that kind of keep an eye on the city. And you all are brought through this wing of the castle into a sort of grand foyer, where you are then brought into the grand hall. There is a long. This room is truly like 200-300 feet long, with windows nearly 50 feet high on both sides of the hall. Magnificent curtains of purple and green that are pulled aside to allow this lovely first day of summer sun and sunset that is beginning to be seen. At the far, far end of this room, there is a magnificent pyre that is already set ablaze. And it is just this massive bonfire that has been set as it's bonfire night. There's just this massive fire that's been set for the event. On that portion of the room, the windows have been left open, as have slats in the roof to allow the smoke to escape. You see this long table at the center of the room. Seated at the far end of the tables, and thus closest to the grand bonfire, is a aged man that you all recognize from earlier as King Math the First, who in his venerable self is sitting in a throne of what truly looks to be like an entire tree, but if it was driftwood. And with a seat just kind of carved into a portion of it. And it is gilded with gold and silver. There are many figures of, minor and major nobility within the city. Some visitors from mayors and stuff from some of the outlying towns and the plains that have come. But Caradwin and Rhiannon give you some some introductions to some of the more important members of this group here, the ones that are seated closest to the king. You see, she motions to a half-elven person with kind of close-cropped black hair. They're wearing silver armor with a embossed hand at the center of the breastplate, as well as a green cloak. They are introduced as Arbiter Llewellyn, and they are the head of the Knights of the Silver Hand, that are kind of the palace guard And they also oversee the city guard, which are just known as the Green Cloaks. The Arbiter Llewellyn is not seated at the table. They are standing just off to the side, a little ways away from the king. And I think Ophalon, you probably recognize Arbiter Llewellyn just because you saw them at a distance when you visited the temple of Nuada. Arbiter Llewellyn is the head of the Knights of the Silver Hand, and thus is the head of that temple as well.
Okay.
Juniper, yes.
At the sight of King Math, Juniper's just her whole expression brightens up, and she excitedly looks at the Hurt group, going, "That's the guy that I met in the little park."
Yes, I used that to be able to get us into the castle. I apologize.
That didn't work, did it though?
We convinced them. After a moment.
She doesn't try approaching him because she realizes now that would be probably wildly inappropriate, but she does maybe kind of try to see if he recognizes her with a little wave.
Yeah, we'll be getting to the table here shortly. As the you all are progressing towards the table, Caradwyn continues to kind of let you all know a couple of important faces. You see, she points towards a dwarven gentleman with a fiery red mohawk at the center of his head and just a large ringleted beard with these rings of all sorts of different metals woven into it, just hanging. And when he turns his head, you all kind of hear it all clink, 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 clink together. She refers to him as the Grand Smith Dravat Dragonfire. Of the head priest of the temple of Govnu, the divine smith. Seated next to him is a tall and lithe elf with what you see is a who is missing their entire left arm, but there is kind of this ethereal version of an arm that is at her side as well, that moves like a regular arm, but you can't help but feel like you could only touch that ethereal arm if she wanted you to. She has long flowing platinum hair and bright silver eyes. She is referred to as the Grand Physician, Gwydion Garling, the head priest of or no, I'm sorry. I did this. I looked at the wrong part of my list.
Oh no.
Not an
Oh
elf.
no.
All the features are still correct. Not an elf. A halfling. A halfling referred to as Gwydion Garling, who is the Grand Physician and the head of the Temple of Dionsect, the Divine Physician. And then seated next to her is the Grand Artisan, Poppy Ribbleyip, who is a small gnome who looks unlike all the other gnomes that you've seen so far that have been forest gnomes. This one you assume must be a rock gnome. She wears this kind of not tight fitting, but not as loose as the Muggle Yump cloaks, this kind of tighter brown habit-like clothes, has the hood up, and you see a mask that is carved from rock on their face, with just one eye hole to look out. And then a couple other, so those make up the divine artist, or the divine smith trio, and then the others that are in attendance is High Archivist Peter Tuttle, who is a human man who just looks so old, just wrinkles. He looks way older than the king, just wrinkles upon wrinkles upon wrinkles, big giant bushy white eyebrows, hair sticking out his ears, a bad comb over, these little tiny glasses that don't appear to be doing much for him. He is the head of the Grand Library here in the city, and as such, he is also the high priest of Ogma, the god of knowledge. And the final member in attendance of this sort of group of religious leaders from within the city is a Goliath of a woman, a large half cloud giant with wispy white hair and kind of alabaster skin. You see that she is wearing like sort of monk vestments, and has a set of, like, you know, those stupid rings that like go over multiple fingers. It's like that. It's almost like brass knuckles almost on each of her hands. And she is referred to as Skyseer Dana Nimbus Fist. And she is the high priest, the quote-unquote high priest of the Dagda, although there is no temple to the Dagda within the city because he's not the king of the gods anymore. And so those are the important folk. Anybody who has proficiency in religion or history, go ahead and make a roll for me and tell me what skill you rolled.
Mm.
19 for religion.
19 religion, copy that. Ophalon probably doesn't have proficiency in either of those skills. I guess if it's just, it's just Kyra. Kyra, you notice something interesting, which is that there is basically a whole retinue of important religious leaders within the city, representing their temples and their city guard and their place of high learning and all this, that. But these are all deity or a representative of deities of only one half of the pantheon.
That's what I was thinking.
The Tuatha De Danann. There don't seem to be anybody here representing the Tilwith Teg, with the exception of Caradwyn and Rhiannon, and they're technically only half Archfey. So yeah, I think that's definitely just something that you notice. There's a smattering of other minor nobility, and as Caradwyn and Rhiannon lead you to a portion of the table, Juniper, you look towards the king, High King Mathiferus, and give a little wave, and you see he is in conversation with the Grand Smith, Dravat Dragonfire, but catches your eye and just raises his goblet and gives you a little nod as you take your seat. Cool. So let's see. Yeah. You all are brought here into this space. The meal is brought out. It is truly a feast worthy of a castle. Probably none of you have ever seen this much food, at least in an event you've been invited to. You certainly have never seen such a smorgasbord of
Such an opulent
food.
display.
It's one of those feasts where like the same dishes are put multiple places on the table so that people at any point in the table can just reach out and grab. So like there's like 3 roast boars like at
Oh my
different
God.
portions of this table. Like not like whole roast boars, but like 3 different sections of the boar at different parts of the table for people to just take chunks off of. Yeah,
Hope
it's
I'm sitting at them butt cheeks.
yeah. But yeah.
Hey man. Butt meats
You were all introduced to those nearby by whatever names you have given to be introduced by. But yeah, a lovely feast is occurring, and you all are here. I would say that this feast is going to go on for a little while. If there's any conversations you'd like to have with anybody here at the table, now's the time to do it.
Can I possibly go and speak to Lady Caradwen if she's not
Oh, she's
very
not super
busy?
far away at all. No, you can have a conversation. She's just a couple seats away from you at the table.
Okay. I will like is she like across from me? Like type situation?
No, she's like a couple chairs down, but truly you can like everybody's talking.
Okay.
So like yeah,
cool.
you don't have to worry about like just whatever.
I will stand and I will tippy tap my way over there. And take a seat beside her, should she be sitting down. I don't mean to make any assumptions, but you and Lady Rhiannon are the only Teluis Teg that are here. Why?
You see, she gives a small smile and she says, well, technically we aren't even that. We're not really part of the Pantheon. Not yet, anyway. We're, I don't know, the not named yet 3rd branch of the Pantheon. The children of mixed heritage. No.
Of both sides, right?
Yes, of course. It is not insulting to us, but we have made the same observations that you have, but this city just doesn't really have... There's not a lot of temples to Archfey. There are a few shrines here and there, and there are much grander shrines in the elven cities and through the vast wilderness, and I'm sure the dwarves have shrines and temples of their own in their halls under the mountains, but it's quite simply that there aren't really temples of any of my my aunts and uncles and mother and father, or my father, I suppose, within the city. There are shrines, and they are taken care of, but there is no... You see, she gestures towards one of them and just says, there is no grand artisan of, the forest.
I suppose I didn't quite think in that manner. You're related by your father's side to that pantheon, right?
Of course, yes. And through my mother to
The
well,
Tuatha De Danann, yes.
correct.
I... Where can I find more information about the god of the hunt?
She gives a knowing smile and she says, "Well,
Because I went to the cusp that's here, the little yes, and I got some very vague information, and that I don't know anything very much.
well, if you were looking for more information, at least from a scholarly perspective," and you see she gestures up the table to High Archivist Peter Tuttle, who might just be asleep. It's kind of hard to tell. His eyes are really squinty, and he's not really eating anything at the moment. She says, "The High Archivist, at the Grand Library, there would be quite a bit of information there, and I think for what you've done, you and your friends have done in saving me this day, I think I can arrange at least one visit to the Grand Library."
That might be a wee bit helpful. Yes. But looking at the Grand Archivist, he doesn't look the most talkative.
See, she laughs. She says, "Oh, Tuttle's a good sort. He's spent a lot of time in that library. And if you can get him on the topic of conversation, I bet he's read nearly every book in the damn place."
Well, I guess I suppose I wouldn't mind having a short conversation with him.
She just smiles and nods and says, "And like I said, I'll see what I can do about getting you well, not a library card, but a visitor's pass."
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Juniper.
Juniper also approaches Lady Caradwin.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks her for taking the group in.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Caradwin, if I'm to be completely honest, if it wasn't for my patron, I don't think Ophalon and I would have been able to get back to the city. And I was maybe hoping you might know something about him. I'm afraid I know very little.
You see, she kind of looks you up and down. You see a little shimmer of magic across her eyes. They very briefly go from green to kind of a piercing silver as she looks you up and down, and then stops and says, "Who is your patron, dear child?"
All I know is his name is Mordred.
You see, she kind of like gets a small frown on her face as
An archfey named Mordred.
she hears the name, and she says, "That name is not unknown to me. I am familiar with it and to whom it belongs. And he has taken you as his, well, you have taken him as your patron, you say?
That was my interpretation of the agreement.
See, she looks you up and down again and just says, well, I'm afraid Mordred is fairly secretive about a lot of things. He sort of vanished into the wilderness, a couple hundred years ago. And only occasionally shows up to have the briefest of conversations with people before returning to wherever he has set up his domain. He's given himself a title. He claims himself as the head of a court, although he has no court. But that's, I'm afraid, all I know, my dear. I haven't had that many interactions with him.
It's okay.
He's older than I am. And he's a secretive one.
I appreciate any and all information.
I would say this though. I don't know him well enough to know whether or not he's trustworthy. But most people are familiar with the tales of his mother. And she
Yes.
most definitely is not trustworthy.
Who's his mother?
You see, she looks down the table at all of these priests and then just kind of like leans in and very softly whispers in your ear, the Morrigan, the Phantom Queen, the one that's been banished from the Pantheon. My dear aunt.
Juniper is already quite pale with freckles, and she goes a shade of white that I don't think she's ever been before.
Yeah, and no matter who you are or where you come from in the world of Bruin, a tale that has almost certainly been told around a fire or to frighten a little child into going to sleep, or tales of the Phantom Queen, and how through betrayal and a willingness to kill her own kin found herself banished from the Pantheon. Once a goddess of magic and war, now a terrible ghost story. You see, she leans back and she says, now, as I said, Mordred doesn't see a whole lot of anyone. And as far as I'm aware, that includes his mother. Because she is still out there somewhere. And I'm sure she would, well, just keep in mind who his mother is if you find yourself in his immediate physical company.
Thank you, Lady Caradwin.
Of
I
course.
will keep that in mind. I have to try and find him.
Yeah. You have that. She kind of nods and she says, well, be careful, dear. And certainly, try to deal with the shadow issue first. That is definitely a more pressing matter.
Yes, yes. Wholeheartedly agree there. On a much more pleasant note, is there a way for me to say hello to the king? I met him the other night in a small little grove of trees in the city.
You see she flicks her eyes over to the king, and you see she holds up a small copper ring on her hand and just whispers into it. And you see the king kind of like perk his head up and look around and looks over to the two of you and smiles and nods. And she says, I think you would be most pleased to have a conversation.
Thank you, Lady Caradwen.
She nods and goes back to, I don't know, sipping soup or whatever she's eating.
From the cauldron.
You see that here in this hall, the only two that people, aside from, you know, knights and stuff that have kind of lined portions of the wall to kind of keep watch on things, the only two people that have not sat at the table are Arbiter Llewellyn of the Order of the Knights of the Silver Hand, who is maintaining their place close by to the king, and actually on the opposite side of the king, Rhiannon has taken vigil as well in a very similar stance as the Arbiter. And Juniper, you head off to go have a discussion with King Math. Before we get to that, Ophalon, Ewan, Omenda, anything you guys are getting up to at dinner? Anybody you would like to have a conversation with?
Omenda's pretty far removed from a lot of the like goings on in there. He's looking for seafood.
Oh yeah, 100%. Make a perception check.
Alrighty, don't fail me now. Oh, it failed me. No, my perception's pretty good. I think 13.
13.
Yeah.
You find there's no better way to put it, a herring pie. Just a nice fishy meat pie, and it's like a stack of them ready to go.
Oh, okay, like the little
yeah,
little handhelds. Yeah, okay. He'll grab a couple of those, put them on his
Yeah.
plate, maybe get some greens.
yeah,
That's
for
all he's
sure.
doing. If anybody,
Got it.
well, he's a regular ass half elf, so nobody's gonna look at him weird.
Yeah.
So he's just not getting looked at. Somebody
Make
might
an
know
insight check.
him. Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it might not be a lot
I
of
know.
renown like the Court of Whispers, but people might know his name. 13.
13.
Yeah.
You definitely see a few people looking at you as you're doing stuff, but you're pretty sure that a lot of them are just looking at the hat. Big ostentatious hat with a feather in it that you have not removed at this
Nope.
dinner table.
Stays on the head at all times.
Stays on the head at all times. People keep waiting for the big feather to like accidentally get dipped in a bowl of soup, and it just never happens, and they're like, oh god.
Feathers like half the size of the person.
Oh yeah. All right. He's got his food.
Yep.
Can I, as I've sat down and surely eaten like 3 persons worth of food by now,
Yeah.
just as things have occurred so far, can I reach out and is the little quickling creature nearby?
It is. Yeah, it is.
them.
Yeah, did you give him a name?
I don't think I've spent enough time to give them a name. I hardly know them. I
Fair
haven't
enough.
even, like,
You reach out and you make the connection. And looking behind you, you catch sight of something that is right in the space where your shadow touches the shadow of one of the columns. And you can't see anything, but you're acutely aware that something is there.
I just continue to eat, and having established their vicinity, will mentally reach out and ask them if they can find anything interesting amongst the more perhaps relaxed partygoers.
Oh no.
Would you like to there are high nobility, low nobility, and people that work at temples that are in attendance here, along with all of you. So of those groups, who would you like him to focus on?
I think I would like the focus to be upon, let's say, perchance, honestly, whomsoever amongst any of those groups is the most, seems to be paying the least attention.
Got it. You see, or you hear in your head just a little quick voice. Ooh, sure. What's interesting? Food?
I will think back. I mean, I can just give you some food. But no,
Already got
shiny. So proud of you. Shiny.
Shiny. I can find shiny.
Shiny's good. Good start.
And I think out of your peripheral, you just see just something just zip away. Can you go ahead, Ewan, and can you make for me a silly check of some kind? Can you make for me an investigation check? And it's gonna be with a plus. Oops, not that. It's gonna be with a plus.
It's a 0, right?
It is a +0. Yeah.
It's +0,
go ahead
yeah.
and make an investigation check. +0.
Sure. 11.
11. Okay. I'll let you know what he finds.
In the meantime, I'm going to continue to enjoy the bountiful feast
Yeah.
laid before me.
You continue to eat,
I'm
Ewan.
still really hungry.
Across the table from you, you see the stone-faced mask and the kind of brown robes of the grand artisan, Poppy. I'm gonna remember all of my own names. Poppy Ribbleyip, who's just kind of not been talking to a lot of people, but just that stone mask is just kind of staring at you, like directly towards you from across the table.
I love Poppy.
At some point in the middle of, I'm sure, like tearing into like a leg of something, he'll just freeze and like return the eye contact. And like just stay locked there for a good 35 seconds before he slowly starts to eat again and maintain that locked eye contact.
You'd go to do that and you just start just finishing the bite that you were taking, and you hear a little gnomish high-pitched chuckle, and you hear, "Hoo-hoo! Oh, he's a hungry one, eh?"
Yes, I grew about 7 inches this morning.
Oh, I see. Oh, yes, it would be that time of the year, wouldn't it? Yes. You have beautiful features. Has anyone told you that?
I think actually, yeah.
Has someone told me that? I don't know. I don't know if somebody has in the campaign.
I think either Kyra or Juniper did.
I mean, I think perhaps it's been mentioned. Thank you.
You see,
Not to his face.
I think at this point, you realize that because she is a gnome, she's actually standing on like a couple of books that have been placed on the chair, and so she's like looking over the table at you, and you mention, you say thanks, and you see she cocks her head and says, "You're welcome," and she disappears from the seat and appears standing on the table right in front of you, and just little gnomish hands reach up and don't touch your face, but just kind of like somebody making a draft drawing or something, just starts taking, like, looking at measurements, and it's like, so if it's 7 inches by, there's a smile line that goes across here, and she just starts muttering to herself. It's like, yes, you have the features that are fit for art. Yes, you should be.
Is this gnome? Isn't this gnome trying to fucking get Ewan to be a naked model for the the artist
You
guild?
don't know.
I do.
Capital T art.
You see, she says, yes, you should be drawn, or you should be sculpted. These are things that should happen for you. And you see, like, one of her hands is just like shaking slightly at her side.
Is everything going to be all right? You seem rather passionate about the subject.
Fine, dear boy. And
is everything fine, Kyle? Do I believe her?
Make an insight check.
Is he gonna get paid?
I would like to measure you.
12.
12.
Life model.
I think with a 12, Ewan, you're really not sure. It's hard to get insight against a being where you can't see their face.
Facts.
You're just going off of a flat stone mask. Or not, it's not flat, it's definitely got carvings into it. But I think what you do notice is hearing the title of Grand Artisan.
Yeah.
And seeing this mask that even you can tell has definitely been hand carved. I think in this moment you're like, this is just a weird little artist.
She's just really hyped about it.
Yeah.
All right. I suppose that's a very kind thing for you to say. Is there more upon the subject you would like to discuss?
May I sculpt you?
I don't know what that really entails.
Oh man, in the back. Is he gonna get paid?
Who keeps saying that? I would certainly see you taken care of for the time that you said. It would be, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 sessions, a few hours each. Middle of the day, sort of, come to the temple, and just. I have a large block of granite that I've been meaning to get to work on for quite some time, and you just have I see your face in the block right now.
Well, thank you. I suppose that it's my obligation to the arts to have it be sculpted then.
Yes.
So you said middle of the day-ish?
Middle of the day, yes. You'll want it's on the fourth level of the city. You will come to you will come to the temple of Lu, and we will take care of you there.
All right. That sounds, and I'm like reaching around her feet now and like grabbing more food and like pulling it towards. That sounds like a Okay.
Kyra, you had something to add.
Can I see this interaction across the table?
100%. Everybody sees that there's a gnome
jumped on the
standing in the table, just looking at this Eladrin youth that is just hanging out here.
I'm gonna just like like in the time that I was watching everything that was going on with Ewan, Juniper and Caradwin had their whole conversation, and Kyra just, I think I need to save Ewan, and I'm gonna walk over, and I'm like, hey, buddy,
Hi, Kyra.
are you, what is, Lord Poppy? Lovely to see you. Lovely to meet you for a second. And I lean into Ewan, and I'm just like, are you okay? Do you need help?
No, everything's fine. I appreciate your concern. Everything's okay. She's just very passionate about the arts.
Amanda's still
Sheesh.
a couple rows back. I still don't know if it's gonna get paid.
The little mask,
Not the muzzy Spider-Man.
the little carved mask turns towards you, Kyra, and getting a closer look at it, you see there's like a lot of the like elaborate in these carvings. It kind of looks on one side, the side that doesn't have the eye hole, kind of looks like a death mask that you would do for somebody's face. And so it's just carved into the stone, and then the side with the eye hole is more actually carved to look like a real face instead of like the an embossed version of one. So it's kind of this version of going from like a more archaic version of sculpting into a more elaborate version of sculpting on the other side. And the little face turns towards you as you're having this conversation with you, and it says, you, and she raises this little tiny gnomish hand and points at you and say, you see it, don't you?
I don't know what you mean.
She
What?
She takes her arm and flings it outward, barely missing Ewan's nose, to just gesture towards him and say, this face, this is a sculptable face. This is a face that was born for the arts. Don't you agree?
No, actually,
I'm waiting to see Kyra's smoke outline as she runs away.
I agree. He has very nice cheekbones and is designed
Yes.
very well.
It's
Anyway,
all in the cheekbones.
I'm gonna walk away now. Goodbye. And I
I need to make some sketches, and she just gestures her hand back towards her. She looks back at you, and she says, yes, come to the Temple of Lu. Not tomorrow, I'm busy tomorrow. The next day, come to the Temple of Lu, and we will start. And she gives a little nod and disappears and reappears back on top of her book with a chicken leg in her hand for some reason, and just turns away and lifts up the mask and takes a bite and just kind of sits there.
Yes, I am passionate about drawing this person, but it has to wait a day.
Yes.
Ophalon leans in next to you and just goes, make sure if they're going to take up your whole day, they at least give you lunch or something.
Or perhaps some kind of money,
Why is it always about the money for you? I don't really get what it's all about.
I did say at least lunch.
Well, no, like food for sure. Like they're gonna, yeah.
We're pretty poor.
I'm probably just. I lean in really closely and I whisper really quietly. I'm thinking I might just do my like daily meditation during, and I can just
I'll just kind of snooze through it.
2 birds with 1 stone. I like it.
We have a wee wailing baby to go feed real quick.
Okay. If you can wait about 10 minutes, I'm gonna get to a perfect breaking point for us, and we can break, and you guys can go do what you have to do, and then we can come back.
Yeah.
Ophalon had I had a thing.
Yeah.
I was waiting patiently.
Yeah.
So Ophalon would like to, if he can, seek out the lady Caradwin.
Yes. Easy.
And he of course gives a short bow and says, "Lady Caradwin, if I may have a moment of your time."
Of course. What can I do for you?
So earlier we spoke on the possibility of essentially backtracking the changelings through our connection to them, and I was wondering if there might be perhaps an advantage that could be gained from the sword that's sort of dangling over our heads.
What?
I apologize. Some of the euphemisms of my home are not too well known here. I shall be more direct if I can. You and your sister said that should we reach Beltane and not have our shadows back, we will become changelings and our minds to the court. Correct?
Yes.
Lucia, by the way.
Well, Lucia. Yeah. The end of summer.
Thank you. Could it be possible that through this connection that some of those characteristics could be gained in a more positive way?
You see, she thinks about that. She says, "You mean, could you transition into a changeling without becoming a part of a hive mind?"
Yes.
No. Or if there is a possibility of that, it's nothing that I've read up on. It's certainly nothing that's been written. But she just kind of smiles and she reaches out and pats you on the shoulder. If you want to try and figure out that particular bit of magic, that's all yours.
I suppose there's an easy way to find out for sure, and if it's at the tip of a sword, perhaps they'll tell us.
Yes. Perhaps. Anything else for you, Ophalon?
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay. You go back to your food. Ewan is no longer
Lots
being
of food.
bothered. Everybody's kind of having their fill of food here. Kyra, you get back to your seat. Juniper, you head over towards King Math the First. And he kind of smiles warmly as you approach, and he says, "Hello, my dear. Hello. I thought perhaps I would see you again, although, truth be told, I didn't quite expect to see you in my castle. Not, but, well, a few weeks after we had last met."
Well, neither did I, Your Majesty. She curtsies.
Yeah. I do hope you are enjoying the food, and I hope it is comfortable for you here. I heard from Lady Caradwin what you all have done for her, and what has happened to I think a couple of you. That is dreadful things. I'm sorry to hear about it, and if there is any way that I can help, I would be happy to help in what ways that I can.
We do.
Yeah, go for it.
She just says we do appreciate that.
But you wished to have ask a question of me, or you had a wish to speak, and I am I'm no
Just
longer. Yeah.
Just a simple hello.
Ah, wonderful, wonderful.
It
Yes.
it was lovely meeting you in the park.
Yes, it
If I had known your station, I probably would have been a little bit more civil.
You see, he chuckles and he says, "Well, I look. I've lived in this city for quite some time, and I know a new arrival when I see one. I was perfectly aware of your unfamiliarity, and I welcomed it. You know, it's nice to go for I was on a walk to be alone, and to be the king and to be recognized in a public garden would usually cause quite a bit of a ruckus, but it was lovely to have a conversation with somebody that had no expectation of what the conversation had to be or what I could possibly do for them or anything like that. It was good. It was a lovely conversation, and your music was top notch, my dear, top notch.
I do appreciate that. Is there anywhere here in the castle I might do something similar? I'm not very good in crowds.
Oh, I think if you wish to retire to other quarters, I think that could be arranged. And you see, he reaches down and he takes a sip of his wine. Fresh goblets have just been brought around to the entire table, and he reaches down and takes a swig and says, "Yes, I could arrange a fetching of something and have a space prepared. I don't believe you all are staying within the castle, so we could find perhaps a resting room or something in which, if you would like to remove yourself from the crowd and please to take any food that you wish to take. I have a toast to give to sort of send off the festivities, if you don't mind waiting until after that."
Not at all.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I will fetch somebody shortly afterwards. Your name again, my dear?
Juniper.
Juniper. Does a surname come with that?
Hawthorne.
Hawthorne. Good name. Strong wood. Yes, good. And as you kind of head back to your seat, you see King Math take his hand, and there's a similar copper ring to what Lady Caradwyn was wearing, and he speaks into it while looking towards the doors of the hall, and you see a servant just kind of nod and leave the room, looking like they're gonna go get something prepared for you. As you return to your seat, everybody is enjoying their food. You see King Math stands up and takes his spoon and hits it on the side of his goblet and says, Everyone, as the sun sets, as our bonfire burns, and as the other fires are being lit all throughout this city of ours, I would like to once again say a healthy thank you to the ladies Caradwyn and Rhiannon, and he gestures to both of them in return and says, for their for being here, enjoying this lovely feast with us, and sharing a connection and a bond between our city and the city of their father. It is the beginning of summer. Many praises to Angus, many praises to Belenus. It is a time for the crops to grow as we head towards the harvest time. And I am happy to be surrounded by such wonderful fellow citizens of this fine place. And everybody sort of raises their goblets, and he raises his, and he takes a drink. And he goes to start to say something else. And instead of words, you just and you see he takes a hand up and kind of massages his throat and says, that wine's a fair bit stronger. He begins to cough, and that cough is now being echoed at other parts of the table. You see the nobility kind of choking a bit as well. The leaders of the temples beginning to have a reaction as well. I would like all 5 of you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, unless you have a good reason for why you did not join in the toast.
I've never seen wine before, and I don't know what a toast is.
Okay.
I would be inherently suspicious of the liquid. I was actually going to ask about it.
Very well.
Ophalon's not really a wine guy.
You're a satyr.
That's fair.
Facts.
Hey man, he prefers ale. Like
that's a 24 on the con save for Juniper.
Got it.
I assume this is.
That's an 11.
11. Okay. Omenda.
21.
Okay. Ophalon.
I assume this is not a spell or magical effect.
No.
All right, that's 10.
10. Okay.
Oh dear.
It's an 8 plus 2.
Omenda and Ophalon. I'm sorry. Omenda, you got a 21, right?
Yes.
Ophalon and Kyra. The two of you begin to feel a choking sensation in your throats. And you cough a lot, and you hear this coughing echoing elsewhere throughout the room. You see like the guards and stuff that were present who were involved in the toast as well because of the king's request, also beginning to choke and kind of fall to their knees in their armor. Everyone's having a reaction here, but the choking begins to stop. People can breathe, people can do all this, but there's a tenseness in the muscles. Ophalon and Kyra, at the moment, for the moment, I should say, the two of you are considered paralyzed.
Ooh.
As is everyone else that has had a reaction to this liquid. You see King Math kind of slumped over, unable to move, with the goblet still in his hand, one hand clutching at his chest, his eyes kind of darting around the room. And material, like walking out from behind the high-backed chair is a blue-haired woman, half-elven in nature, in these sort of rugged adventuring clothes, and she just kind of peers around and looks down the table at everyone, reaches down the front of the king's shirt, pulls out a key, and just says, "Well, shall we get this show started then?" From the shadows, strange, fey shadow creatures begin to rise in corners of the room, and you see, descending from above, a spider-like creature with the torso of Juniper, descending down on top of you all. We're going to take our break, and when we come back, we're going to roll initiative.
Oh my.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
It's been a while since we've had some good combat.
Feck. There's 3 of us?
So did we get a short rest in that time before the
that was
dinner?
gonna be my question.
Yeah.
Yes, you had definitely
Short
plenty
rest.
of time. That, like, getting ready for the dinner was a short rest.
Okay.
That's poggers.
Would my health automatically heal?
If you rolled hit dice.
If you rolled hit dice, yeah.
You can only roll as many as you have, but
Okay. Well, it is a short rest.
I forget. Do I get any spell slots back on a short rest or no? Just long rests?
no.
Dang, that's okay. I do it anyway.
Oh yeah. Yep. No, it would have just been a short rest since the last time 3 of you fought. Ophalon and Juniper have only spent whatever spell slots they spent while trying to get out of the webs. So, but yeah.
1d8.
Not good.
Add them here.
8,
Cool.
11.
Not good.
Oh, okay. That brings me back to where I needed to be. There we go.
But yeah,
Damn, I
Travis
don't have any
and
bardic inspiration
Caitlin, take care of the Babbo and do whatever you have to do. And when you guys come back, we're gonna do a combat, and the combat will take us to the end of our session.
Excellent.
Oh, on the short rest, if you used hit dice, roll an extra d6 with my Song of Rest.
Ooh, love that. Love that for you.
Very pog.
In case y'all are extra damaged to get up there.
All
I'm a
right.
little sad. I thought we were gonna have a long rest.
The box says no.
Yeah. Well, like
We'll be
not
back.
actually with when how it
We'll
played
be
out.
back.
I knew it was gonna be a short rest. But I was hoping there would be like a long rest time period.
Me too, Paul. I don't have any spell slots. I used them all to
I-
grow wings.
I got second level spell slots though, so I'm okay.
Pog.
That's okay. You've got an level of monk, right?
Oh, I've also I get my wild shapes back on a short rest.
That's true. You do get your wild shape back on a short
So I've got I've got options. I'll be fine.
I hope this spider isn't immune to being charmed.
Woohoo! Plus 4. It's a 7, right?
I've got 1 first level slot and 2 second level slots.
That is the actual way that you make things harder for your D&D players as a DM is you give them short
No
rests,
rests.
but you really try to space out those long rests.
Right.
We haven't had a full party fight for a while.
Yeah, and it has been a bit since we've had like any like I guess downtime. So I was like, we might have a long rest, but then we went into stuff, and I was like, oh, it's.
I mean,
definitely
technically,
gotta be a
this
short
is like
rest
the
at best.
this is like the 3rd or 4th session that takes place during the same day.
Yeah,
So,
I was like, maybe he'll be like, it's now nighttime.
right.
Nope. That's okay though. I gotta just be a little more creative.
Be a little more
Mm.
creative.
Hey Kyle.
Yo.
Are you gonna say that I can't destroy the water in somebody's body?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to, because I do have this create or destroy water thing. It is really stupid, but I was like, shit. Ooh, that's pretty powerful.
Good. Yeah.
Perfect. Initiatives. Juniper.
11.
Ewan.
15.
Omenda E. Hector.
21.
Ophalon.
A 5.
Woof. Kyra.
24.
24 is pretty good. All right, I've rolled initiative for everybody else, which means we are going to start this combat. To explain the situation yet again, all of you are seated around the table. We're doing Theater of the Mind, as I have been doing for this game mostly so far. So please, if you need any clarifying questions about where you are in relationship to the room, do not hesitate to ask me. Everybody is at their seats along the table. Majority of people around you seem to be paralyzed to some extent. And you see, stepping out from behind the throne, you see the form of Nil, who has taken a key off of the High King. And sliding down from the ceiling on Gossamer's webbing is the swollen spider-like body of the creature that kept Ophalon and Juniper hostage, although now it is wearing the upper torsoed form of Juniper. As it descends, you see these strange shadow creatures coming out of the shadows. They have impish or like feral goblin-like faces, but they seem to be made entirely from shadow with just little slightly light gray eyes. They start pulling out wicked-looking daggers. And up by the main doors, you see two larger versions of these shadow creatures materialize from the shadows of the two guards that were flanking the doors. So, at the top of combat, the spider creature will be going. She has a character sheet.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
She descends from above, giving a cruel chuckle as she does. Let's see. And it was Ophalon and Kyra who are paralyzed. Okay.
Oph just keeps getting kicked in the teeth.
Yeah. I would like Ewan to please make for me a wisdom saving throw.
And that's super good. It's a 12.
A 12.
Does it happen to be a charm condition by chance?
It is not a charm condition.
Then it's a 12.
As you feel this space kind of shunt around you, and you have drank this liquid as well. It's just that you didn't drink the liquid specifically. So you kind of see things happening around you, and then you see this strange spider-like creature coming down from above, and you see with Juniper's face, it looks at you, and you see extra sets of spider-like eyes open on the side of the head. And in your mind, you hear, "Flee, little elf," as she casts Dissonant Whispers. Mr. Ewan, you are going to take 10 points of psychic damage, and you must immediately use your reaction to run as far away from this creature as you can.
Okay.
For you, that is going to be running.
30 feet.
Yep, 30 feet, and it's going to mean either running towards the door, towards the bonfire, or towards one of the other side. Like, in order to get your full 30 feet, you need to pick a direction. You need to either go towards the bonfire or towards the doors out of the hall.
Let's say the bonfire then.
Bonfire? Okay. You immediately use your reaction, turn away. You are also considered or no, this doesn't bestow the frightened condition. It just makes you run. So you head towards the bonfire. The creature with Juniper's face is then going to smiling wickedly, a little too wide of a smile, is going to turn and look down at the rest of you, lick her lips, and hold her hands out, and her fingers turn into long, shiny claws on the end of Juniper's hands, looking down at all of you. That is going to be her go. Kyra, you are paralyzed. Please make for me a Constitution saving throw.
$15.
For the second round of shrugging off the paralysis, 15 is what you needed.
Yay! Awesome, Pog!
That is your entire first turn.
Balls!
But
There are so many people in this situation.
you're correct. That is your entire turn, but you are no longer paralyzed.
Sweet, thank you.
That's going to bring us to the lady Rhiannon, who is going to make a roll. Ooh, she might have gotten it. Rhiannon, what is your con bonus? Yes, Rhiannon is also no longer paralyzed. That's going to be the blue-haired individual with the key now firmly in her hand kind of looks at the entire gathering here and sees the chaos that's erupting, just smiles and says, "I love it when a plan comes to fruition." And she snaps her fingers and vanishes from the space, seeming to use some sort of a teleportation spell. Up next in the initiative, Omenda, you are not paralyzed.
Okay, so first thing I would like to do is what do the creatures that the spider lady summoned look like again?
They kind of look, they have very Fae-like features, but they seem to be completely formed from shadow, so you can never quite see their face, but you see the like hooked nose, pointed features of like goblins or evil sprites or things like that. You can make a nature or arcana check.
Yeah, I'll do that. And the main reason why I ask is because I was going to see if it would be possible for me to disguise myself as one of them.
Based on the height of the creatures, I think probably the smaller ones, I think you definitely could.
Okay, I rolled an 8 on the Arcana.
8 total.
Yeah.
You don't know what these are. But I mean, basically, if you try, like, if you were to try to, you could try to turn yourself into something like this.
Okay.
It's definitely a thing.
Yeah, because what I would like to do is I would like to use my my cap to disguise myself as one of the fake creatures. Like if they don't have a hat, I like pull the brim down and stuff to kind of turn it into like hair or whatever. And then I would like to hide if I can.
Okay. Go ahead and as you use the Hat of Disguise, make a performance check for me.
Okay.
Or deception.
We'll see. That's 5.
Actually,
or...
I am gonna ask for this to be a performance check, not a deception check.
They end up being the same, so that's all right.
I figured they probably were.
Dang. Alrighty, that one's going in the chair.
In the chair.
That's a 7. That's a 2 on the
7?
die.
You use the hat and disguise yourself. There are a couple things that you know are going to be an issue.
Yeah.
1, you can't get rid of the hat. You can only disguise it as a smaller hat that also has a feather. So the hat has to be there, and also because you're not entirely sure what these things are and you're just going off of kind of silhouettes.
Right.
I'm gonna say you definitely just look like a really kind of like dark gray skin toned goblin more than anything else, right?
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll find the nearest shadow, man.
Cool. And then yeah, you can go ahead and make a stealth check for me to try and hide.
Okay.
Yeah, and it'll just be a flat roll.
And then is blue-haired lady left, right?
Blue-haired lady teleported away. She's no longer effectively in the combat at the moment.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I rolled a 2 on one dice, then I rolled a 1 on another.
Oh my goodness.
For a total of 9.
A total of 9. You kind of deposit yourself in a bit of shadow, and you're like, cool, I'm hidden. And you hear a from right next to you, and one of these creatures is just looking at you from around a column. The column that you hid behind.
Okay. And that was my action because I cast my spell, the disguise self or whatever.
Yep.
I've already moved. That's my turn.
Cool. At the end of Omenda's turn, the small creatures are going to go. One of them is going to take a swing at you, Omenda, because it's looking right at you.
Okay. Try me.
That's going to be a 19 to hit.
That definitely hits. I believe I can Silvery Barbsy Boy it, can I?
You can silver if you would like to use your reaction to Silvery Barbs. You absolutely can.
I would indeed. I don't have a lot of health. So he's got a what? Reroll. He's got a
reroll, and that's going to get it down to an 11.
Does not hit.
An 11 does not hit, and you can give advantage to one of your allies or yourself on their next D20 roll.
I will give it to Ophalon.
Cool. So Ophalon, when you roll to get out of paralysis, you will have advantage on the roll. That is that. Creatures go. The next one is going to run up. It is going to attack Ophalon. Ophalon is paralyzed. He still has to roll to hit. If he hits, it's an auto crit. Ophalon, does a 16 hit?
That's my AC. It also says that the paralyzed condition says that attack rolls against the creature have advantage.
Yes.
So a 16
then it's
is
a
my
natural
AC.
19. So yeah, it does
Okay.
absolutely hit. I forgot it was with advantage. So yeah, so that is going to be to you, Ophalon, because it's a crit. It is going to be 10 points of piercing damage and 14 points of necrotic damage. as this shadowy knife just plunges into your side.
Stabbed by a Morgul blade. Cool, I'm down to 7 HP.
There you are.
That was 24 damage. What the fuck?
Another one of the creatures is going to run up to Kyra, who it believes is still paralyzed, but who is not, so the attack will not be at disadvantage. Did roll a natural 18, though. So 18 plus 5 is 23 to hit.
I'm gonna cast shield on myself.
You have shield?
I do.
You have shield as your warlock that has 2 spell slots, and not as your wizard that has 1,000 fucking spell slots.
Yes.
What does plus 5 to your AC give you as AC?
21.
So it does still hit
Fuck.
with a roll of 18 plus 5.
Fuck.
So
Damn.
I hate when that happens.
So you throw up the shield, it just doesn't work. The shadowy blade actually shatters the magic as he stabs through. It's not a crit. You take 5 points of piercing damage and 7 points of necrotic damage.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. Can you, like, force add things as the DM to a character?
Yeah.
Can you at some point, it doesn't have to be right now, can you please do that with Vicious Mockery on Ophalon? Because the petty...
I have
still doesn't look right.
tried, and sometimes on the character sheet it'll show up, and sometimes it won't. So I am actively working on that.
Okay, because like if I delete petty and then re-add it, it works.
Right.
And then the next time I load my sheet, it's gone.
Yeah. I don't know what that's
So
about.
I have to force myself to remember that I have Vicious Mockery and I can use it as a reaction.
It does that with it did that with Doc's Touch of the Undying feat as well. Like the 3 spells that Doc got from that feat would half the time never show up in the character sheet.
Goddamn D&D.
Copy and paste the description of it and just put it in your notes.
That's not a bad idea.
But I can't learn it because all my spell slots are full.
Okay. Then
Worry about it later.
final one of these creatures is going to run out of the shadows and is going to attack the king, who is also paralyzed. With a roll of a dirt 20, that definitely hits.
God
The
damn.
king
Dirt
is going to
20.
take. The king is going to take 10 points of piercing damage and 14 points of necrotic, and you just hear him cough, and black shadowy goo kind of pours from the mouth a little bit as he's just been stabbed in the side. The small creatures, that is their turn. Ewan, it's your go.
Ooh, golly gosh. How grouped up generally are the adversaries?
Okay, so there is one directly next to Ophalon. There is one directly next to Kyra, and there is one directly near to Omenda. Those 3 are all within, I would say, 25 feet of one another, roughly. And then
Okay.
the other small creature
All the way
is
over
up by the king, which is actually closer to you right now because you ran in the direction of the bonfire, which is towards where the king was sitting. And then there are 2 of the larger shadow creatures all the way back by the main doors.
Okay. What I think I will do is Ewan is going to, after the effects wear off, he's gonna stop on his heel and rip himself around, and he cracks his knuckles, and as he does, he actually breaks the wood. And I'm gonna use the feature of my bracers, and I'm going to cast bark skin on myself.
Yes, absolutely. You all watch as Ewan, in this new form, as he breaks these knuckles, the wooden arms that you all had seen him as having, it's like they extend over the entire body until now he looks like a tree person, even more so than he usually does.
And you have hardly any time to process that, as I use my bonus action to wild shape into a bear.
Yeah, you do.
So as he turns into wood, his form, like liquid falling into a container, drops heavily. Black fur hardening into wooden bristles as it grows over his body, swells into a large bear-like form.
Hell yeah.
I then am going to
wild shape.
use my 40 feet of movement to run forward, and I don't have any actions left, but I will run forward and, posing myself above this little shadowling, just roar at it.
The one by the king.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make an intimidation check for me.
Sure thing. Ooh. Not great. 10.
10. Okay. This creature, I'm gonna consider to see if it gets intimidated. I'm just going to roll a wisdom save for it. It has actually, you know what? Is fear? Is it smart to be afraid, or is it wise to be afraid? We're gonna call it wisdom. This thing gets a +1, so it needs a 9 or higher to succeed against your intimidation.
Feels fair.
Got a 4. It is intimidated. It definitely cowers before you as you charge upon it. It's as it pulls its blade out of the side of King Math, and then turns and holds the blade in front of itself to protect it from you. At the end of Ewan's go, the 2 larger shadow creatures up by the doors are going to take their turn.
Actually, Kyle.
Yes.
Is the Quickling still active?
The Quickling is active, yes.
It would take its turn right after me, I believe.
It would take its turn right after you, yes. What do you say to it mentally?
I would tell it to keep my friends safe. However, it interprets that.
Okay. It says, "Oh, okay, found shiny. You want me to bring it to you?"
In a little bit.
Yes.
Please be the key.
Okay. The Quickling is going to zip over to... What is it going to do? Who is next in the initiative for you guys? It is going to zip over and Juniper, from where you're seated at the table, a little jet black rabbit just appears on your shoulder, like looking around really nervously. It is a familiar. It's going to give you the help action on your next D20 roll. So if you make an attack, a save, or it would be an attack or an ability check, it can give you advantage on your turn.
After that.
The larger shadow creatures are going to you watch as they kind of step out of the shadows of the knights that are standing in front of them, and then reach into their own like dark selves and pull out twin scimitars. And they're going to attack these guards who are paralyzed. That's a hit. That's a miss. That's a crit. That's a crit. With the amount of damage that these guys do, both of these knights are beheaded from behind by these shadow creatures. Their bodies clanking to the ground. And the two creatures then just step closer together and, with their blades drawn, guard the door from anybody trying to escape the room. That is the end of their go. Juniper, it is your turn.
Oh, goody. All right. Where am I in relation to things?
So where you're seated at the table, Ophalon and Kyra are both seated at the table as well, and they each have one of these little creatures next to them. All of you guys were seated on the same side of the table, so you're just kind of like down the line from each other. And then you see that a Ewan in a bear form is right up next to the king, and another one of these little shadow creatures. Omenda, who did not do a good job of hiding, is over by a pillar with another one of the small creatures. The two large creatures are at the exit to the room, and then the spidery creature is crawling down from above.
Decisions. And she's gonna regret doing this. Juniper is going to throw an Eldritch Blast at the spider that's using her face.
You got it.
And she just kind of stands up, brushes her cloak off, and like looks up at her and goes, "You really need to stop using my face."
Yeah.
Alright. Non-nat 20.
Non-nat 20 hits.
You do have advantage from the hair.
Oh yes, the hair does give you
But I
advantage.
suppose it's using the help action, so I guess you get to choose what it triggers on.
That's true.
Probably.
It is the help action, so you do get to choose when you use it. If you don't want to use the advantage now, you don't have to.
I'll hold off since I got that roll.
Got it. Go ahead and
Alright.
roll your Eldritch Blast damage.
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
Blast.
Can the rabbit help with the damage die?
No.
Okay, didn't think so. That's an 8.
8 points of damage. You got it. Interestingly enough, Juniper, make an insight check.
Okay. I'll have the rabbit help with this so I don't have disadvantage.
You can do that, yes.
That is 21.
21 insight, damn. That force damage from your Eldritch Blast seems to have done a little more damage than you thought it did. Or than you thought it should have, hitting this creature.
Interesting.
Fey creatures are particularly susceptible to force damage.
Shit hurts, man.
Anything else for your turn, Juniper?
Give me just a minute. She's gonna spend 2 sorcery points and Eldritch Blast her again as seeing that that did a little bit more
Kill
damage
that
than she was.
fucking changeling drider bitch.
Love that for you. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Yep. That's a nat 20 plus 7.
Damn. Go ahead and roll double the dice for your Eldritch Blast.
Fuck her up, babe.
That
I'm
is-
gonna turn her skull into a hat.
Wild.
Remember, if you kill her, the shadow disappears forever.
Right.
Alright,
There's that.
that's a good point.
Kill her after you get this the shadow back.
Right. Hopefully this doesn't kill her. So 13 on just the dice plus 5, so 18.
18, so that's 26 plus 5, so that's actually 31 points of damage.
Wait, what?
So you did 13 points of damage from the crit. She's vulnerable to force damage, so it's doubled again to
Oh.
26 plus 5, which is
Please.
31.
Okay, I really hope that I didn't just fuck myself over here.
She looks hurt. She didn't like any of that just happened.
Yeah, that's valid.
Is that the end of your turn, Juniper? You are, she is still, like, above you, above the table, but she is not within range to do an opportunity attack if you wanted to run away. She's still about 10-15 feet up.
Mm. Give me just a minute. Because Juniper used a sorcery point, Thorny Impediment triggers from her ring.
Ooh, is there a save for that?
No. Choose one creature who takes damage from the spell that you used with your meta magic option.
Okay. What does that do? That reduces her speed to 0 for a turn, is that right?
Disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks made before the start of my next turn.
Right. So,
And that's
yeah,
assuming that I'm reading my ring description
I
correctly.
think you are. Let me just make sure real quick. I think you are reading it just fine.
Excellent.
The Ring
So,
of Promise. Choose one creature who takes damage from the spell. That target has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks made before the start of your next turn. Yeah. So, just as these Eldritch Blast hit her and do quite a bit of damage, thorns just kind of curl around the spidery carapace, and she like kind of struggles to move her arms through them. As you quip that she needs to stop using your face, and she just snarls down at you. Oh dear, I wear it so much better. And is that the end of your turn, Juniper?
No, that'll be the end of my turn.
Perfect. The end of Juniper's turn. The Lady Caradwin, who is not paralyzed, having made her save, is going to do something silly. She is going to cast who here's looking real bad? Like real bad.
I got
Ophalon.
halved. I got halved in one hit.
Yeah, I'm looking bad.
How many hit points does Ophalon have left over?
7.
Um,
I'm from
You
31 to 7.
you see the Lady
Ow.
Caradwin, you see that she looks around and she stands up and like begins to back away from the creature that is nearby to Kyra. As she does, she taps Kyra on the shoulder, while at the same time you see a little flash of a ring on her hand, and the cauldron, Awen, glows and just bonks into Ophalon's side as she splits a spell. She's going to cast a 5th level Cure Wounds on the two of you. That's going to be... Ooh. 3... 24 points of damage, points of healing to Ophalon and Kyra.
How many was that? 24?
Pog.
Yep, 24 points of healing. She's going to take a step back from the creature, which is going to trigger an attack of opportunity against her.
Oh, the health I lost, that was pretty cool.
Which is definitely going to hit. Lady Caradwin is going to take some damage. She's going to take 17 points of damage all told. That is the end of the Lady Caradwin's turn. Next up in the initiative, let's see. I would like for... Boop. I would like for Ewan to go ahead in your bear form and make for me a... I mean, you keep your mental stats, so it's no issue. Make a wisdom save, another wisdom save for me.
That is a juicy 21.
In your wooden bear form, as you're threatening this little shadow creature in front of you, you feel briefly your muscles begin to tense up, but you manage to shake it off, and you give a quick look around. Make a perception check for me.
It is a 22.
A 22. You kind of feel a little bit the direction that this has come from, and you catch sight of like up in the rafters of this, the rafters of this room, which are very high up.
Yeah.
You see a figure up above looking down. You see Ophalon high above in the rafters looking down at the situation.
I see.
Let's see. That is an action. Does she have any bonus action? Yeah, so I would say with that perception, since it's high, what you see is this version of Ophalon up in the shadows reach into something at its side and pull out some sort of a short blade and just hold it in their hand. And that's the end of that guy's turn. And the final, not the final person in the round of combat, sorry, Ophalon, the next to last person, Arbiter Llewellyn, who as a paladin is immune to poison and disease, is not affected by the paralysis of the drink that was given, and is going to maneuver themselves into such a position that they get flanking with the bear, and is going to make an attack on this little darkling. Oh, I've given it away what they are. My bad.
I called them shadelings in my notes.
So Arbiter Llewellyn is going to make a attack with their pike with advantage. That's definitely going to hit.
Guys, this initiative order has 2 lines in my notes.
By a lot. That's going to be D10 plus 4. It's going to be 10 points of damage. The the shadow creature next to the king looks very hurt and is very afraid. But now its route to escape has been blocked off. That is... Oh, and then does Arbiter Llewellyn have a bonus action? Okay. Oh! It's they're then going to use their bonus action to take their shield and attempt to shove this little creature away from the king. That's gonna be a 15. Yeah. So the little creature gets shoved bodily 5 feet away. So now, effectively, Llewellyn and Ewan are between this creature and getting back to the king. The end of Llewellyn's turn. Ophalon, you are paralyzed. You may make your Constitution save at advantage because of silvery barbs.
Okay. Let's see. Here's a con save. Let's see. That's a natural 20 to start with.
Ooh.
Nice.
And a 15. So I'm going to go for natural 20.
With a nat 20, to honor a nat 20, I will give you your turn, Ophalon.
Hey.
So the shade is right next to me, right?
The creature is right next to you. It has just pulled a dagger out of your side. And then there's also a little cauldron right next to you.
It's like he pulled the dagger out of my side, which then was immediately healed.
Correct.
Ophalon just turns and looks at it and goes, ha! and attacks with his scimitar.
Amazing.
I love that I heard that over Caitlin's mic.
Yes.
So I will roll the hit with scimitar.
Go ahead and roll the hit.
That's an 18.
18 definitely hits.
Tight. So that's 6, 9. So that's 9 damage.
9 damage. Okay.
Right. I don't have a 3rd level in fighter yet. I don't have extra attack.
Correct.
It's 5th, buddy.
Yeah, it is 5th level.
Right. Fuck, it's 5th.
But you do have a double-ended scimitar, which means you can make an attack as a bonus action with the other end of the scimitar.
Valid.
I'm pretty sure that's what a double-ended scimitar does.
Yes, I can to immediately make, and it deals 1d4 instead of 2.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll yeah, I'm gonna let me see here. Let me consult the Book of Armaments.
I will say, too, with that first hit, this creature does not look great. You cut away a big chunk of its essence with that first swipe.
Okay, me.
Slade, taste the blood on your hands. Greatness is within your grasp. Do it.
Okay, So yes, I will make a second attack as a bonus action. That's a 16 plus 5 for a 21.
Definitely hits. Go ahead and roll that damage.
And that's max on the die, so that's 7 damage.
7 damage.
Yep.
With 2 slices from the scimitar, you cut through this thing's form, and you see it kind of double over, and it looks like it's starting to like devolve back into shadow. And then just as rapidly, a flash of light comes out of it, and the entire creature evaporates. Go ahead and make a con save for me.
Oh boy. Is this a magical effect?
No, it is not a magical effect.
So it's not a spell either, okay. That's an 18 plus 2 for a dirty 20.
That's totally fine. This thing just explodes in a blast of light, and you just manage to shield your eyes in time. You see a couple of the paralyzed people around you on the other side of the table who can't shield their eyes, like like really screaming in their paralyzed form because that was blinding for them.
Goddamn flashbang.
And then yeah.
And then as Ophalon's like he shields his eyes and he comes down, from where I'm standing, can I see me?
You cannot. The only person who has seen the other you is Ewan, who is a bear and sees them way up in the rafters, but has had no way to communicate that to you.
But I can see. Can I see the Drider?
Oh, definitely, dangling 10 feet above the table.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Let's see. There. Yeah, where's that? And she looks not great. How does she look?
She's taken a hit, a pretty hefty hit from that force damage.
Please don't.
Remember, you can't kill the shadow bears.
You have done your action and your bonus action. If you have an action surge, you can use that to get an extra action.
I know, I was thinking about it. I will not.
Okay.
I end my turn.
At the end of your turn, it is the spider creature's turn. She just took a fuck ton of damage from Juniper and is wholly focused on her for the moment.
Yeah.
She is going to boop, 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 climb the rest of the way down onto the table, knocking plates and everything, things everywhere, and she is going to lay into Juniper with these large claws that she has sprouted from her hands. That's going to be...
Question.
Yes?
First one, probably a no, but I figured I'd ask anyways. Would you allow me to use my Fey Presence as a reaction to her attacking me?
No, if it's not a reaction ability, not in combat.
Okay. And then I have Hellish Rebuke.
Yep.
We haven't actually discussed like how it's specific to Juniper yet. Would you allow me to have it be like vines and use it to restrain her?
It's still just going to be a spell that does damage.
Okay.
Yeah. But you can, because of your ring, I believe if you use a meta magic point, I think you can make it do any other type of damage that you want it to do. I think that's what the meta magic you get from your ring. You get the transmuted spell option. So yeah, you can make your Hellish Rebuke do any type of damage you want. So theoretically, you can make your Hellish Rebuke do force damage if you wish. She has to hit you first, though.
Right.
She comes towards you. She is going to use her bonus action to go into a frenzy, and she is going to attack you with advantage. First attack is going to be a 21 to hit.
Yeah.
That's going to be shoop shoop shoop. Let me make sure I don't get any other dice on this. I don't think I do. Nope, we're good. 6, 7. It's going to be 11 points of slashing damage.
Ugh, gross. Okay.
And her second attack is also going to hit. And that's going to be 12. That's going to be 16 points of slashing damage.
Ow.
And you can use Hellish Rebuke if you have the spell slot for it.
See, I want to. I'm scared that if I do, she's gonna die.
That's fair.
So.
She lays into you twice. The claws that rip into you, Juniper, are so sharp that you feel her like tearing through musculature on your body. Your speed is reduced by 10 until the start of her next turn. So the start of combat.
Ooh, did she did she take disadvantage on those attack rolls?
From
My thorny impediment until the start of my next turn.
Interesting. Because she was doing reckless attacks, which meant she was
shit.
attacking with advantage, which means they would have been flat rolls, which means I have to roll for both of those attacks again because I roll 2 dice at the same time. So, to compromise, instead of doing all of that again, I am going to give you back the last set of damage. So go ahead and heal yourself 16 HP.
Okay.
But do keep that in mind. I have many things to deal with. If you have put a debuff on somebody, please do remember that and let me know.
Yep. That's my bad. Yeah, it's attack rolls and ability checks until my next turn.
Got it. That's all fine. That is going to be as she just lays into you, that is going to be the end of her go, which is going to bring us to Kyra, who still has a terrible little thing next to her that just tried to stab her. Or did succeed in stabbing.
Did in fact succeed in stabbing me.
This creature is, however, momentarily distracted as it has just swung out and stabbed the Lady Carrigan as she backed away.
Can I perhaps do 2 things? Can I can Hexblade's curse someone that I don't have to hit, right? In the same attack?
Yeah, if Hexblade's Curse is a bonus action, you can Hexblade's Curse anybody.
Cool. I'm thinking. Yeah, let's do that. That sounds like fun. I will Hexblade's Curse this spider bitch.
Will now crit on a 19 or 20 against her.
Pog.
Simply crit.
Yeah, cool. I will do that. And then I will remove my bow from around me because I'm guessing I still have my weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
That you came with two weapons.
Well, yeah, we were fighting in the courtyard, so I figure connections. I am going to remove my bow, but I don't think I have enough time to like pull and draw and like fire at something.
Yeah,
So
you
I'm
do.
gonna
You can
just
draw a weapon and attack.
for flavor text. I'm not going to.
Okay.
I am going to peel the bow off of me and then wheel it around and just fucking bat this little
Oh,
shadow creature.
just bean it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll do that. That sounds like fun. Cool. You gave me the ability to do that, so.
I did do that.
$23.
23 does hit for sure.
23 does hit. What did we decide that does as damage?
I am going to say that for the purposes of everything, just treat it like, just use the same damage roll as the regular bow. It's going to be bludgeoning instead of piercing.
I thought so. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah. It's essentially all like a stick that you already have, that Shillelagh is just pre-cast on. So,
that is 10 points of damage at this thing, and
10 points of
I'm trying my very
damage.
best to just fucking bat this thing as far from me as possible.
You do bap it and do a significant chunk of damage to it. A lot of its shadowy form seems to start sloughing off as you just slam your bow into it. Cool.
Sweet.
Is that the end of your turn, Kyra?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
The Lady Rhiannon is going to pull a bow from her back, look up towards the spidery creature, and I would like for Ewan to make a perception check.
14.
With a 14. From where you're at, I think you just see the flurry of movement as a bow is drawn next to you and aimed. And what you hear is Lady Rhiannon whisper to herself as she aims the bow, "Swift death to you who have wronged me," and lets loose an arrow. That is going to be against the spider creature, who attacked recklessly, so she has advantage on this attack. That's going to definitely hit. It's going to do 11 points of damage. After that attack, I will say, for the purposes of everyone's knowledge, the spidery one is now considered bloodied. And she's going to go ahead and launch another arrow. And she's going to get another attack. That is also going to... Actually, that one... Nope, it still hits. That's going to be 1d8. And that's going to be a further 8 points of damage. And the next up is going to be Omenda, as 2 of these arrows thud into this spidery creature for quite a bit of damage.
Okay. So the spider creature is pretty hard. Have we killed any of the little guys yet? Or are there still
You
some
guys have there. You've killed one of them. There are 2 of them that are very hurt, and then the one that attacked you is not hurt at all and is still standing next to you.
Okay. What I'll do, because I am still disguised as like a little goblinoid individual.
Mhm.
The hat definitely has turned into the ittiest bittiest little bowler hat with
For
a
sure.
little feather on it.
Love that. Love that for you.
And then he'll run out from his hiding space, because I wasn't around any creatures, right? Nobody attacked me.
Yes, one did attack you. One of the little darklings came around and attacked you, just missed.
Oh, you're right. Yes. So I don't think. How far away is the spider lady?
The spider lady right now is on the other, is on the same side of the table, but menacing Juniper. So technically, Juniper is between you and the creature, but the creature is bigger. So I would say only about 15 feet from you.
Okay. I won't even move then. Seeing as all of her side is completely damaged and hurt, I am going to yell out to her, protect your men, call off your creatures, and I will cast suggestion on her.
Ooh.
Unless she's immune to being charmed, which would suck.
I don't believe she is immune to being charmed. She's not. What sort of is a wisdom save for suggestion?
Yes.
Okay. You
Wisdom
are
save of 14.
Yeah, you are in the middle of combat, and she is just like in a rage attacking Juniper. So she does get advantage on this wisdom save.
Okay.
That's going to be a total of 18.
Damn. Sad.
You see, your words get to her. Your words ring out in an attempt to get her to lay off and like do something else for a round. She's just so determined to kill Juniper in this moment that she just doesn't process your words.
Okay. Then I will. The last thing I'll do. Oh no, I can't cast 2 spells in a turn. That's right.
You can if one's a cantrip.
It's not.
Okay. And do remember, both of you bards, that Vicious Mockery is a bonus action in my games. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is all I will do.
Okay. As you do this, the small darklings are going to take their turn. The one that attacked you, Omenda, is going to take another swipe at you with its dagger. That's going to be a 16 to hit.
That hits.
That hits. You're going to take 5 points of piercing damage and 7 points of necrotic damage as this dagger plunges into your neck. Let's see. The one that had gone after Kyra is very hurt and very angry, but it is going to roll it's going to roll just to see if it leaves or not. It's a determined little bugger. It's going to take an attack at Kyra. Kyra, that's going to be an 8 to hit.
Interjection. Can I see that from where I'm standing?
Absolutely, you can.
Ophalon points and goes, ha ha, and casts vicious mockery as a reaction.
Oh yes, because you're petty.
Yes.
Ah,
Back
I
to
love
petty.
that for you. Go ahead and roll that vicious mockery damage.
All right. What is the vicious mockery for somebody who has better access to it?
It
It's
is
D4 at this level.
Well, hold on, because petty is weird.
Oh, petty is weird. It might be juiced.
Because if I already know it when I take it, I add proficiency.
You
but I
add,
don't think
so
I
it's
have.
1d4, or it's 1d4 plus your proficiency. So 1d4 plus 2 right now.
Fair enough.
5 damage.
5 damage. You kill this thing with bro shame. How do you kill it? as you laugh at it.
Ophalon just laughs at it and goes, dude, you couldn't even fucking hit that. Are you kidding me? You were that close and you missed?
That's funny. You see it just like loses the will to be corporeal and folds in on itself and
It makes a face like
pops.
this.
It does, and it pops in a blast of light. Kyra, I need you to make a con save at disadvantage because of your light sensitivity, unfortunately.
Interesting that these like explode into light when they die.
It is interesting, isn't it?
Not a natural one.
No, it's 10.
It's a 10. The DC is 10. So you're good. You are not blinded until the end of your next turn.
Please, I just want to play the game.
She smiled.
Pretty please.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yay!
The one that tried to attack the king, seeing that there are now 2 powerful things between it and the king, is going to turn on its heel and run for the shadows. Ewan, you can make an attack of opportunity. So is Llewellyn. Yeah. Babbo.
Ewan rolled an 8.
Ewan unfortunately misses. However, the pike of Llewellyn, Arbiter Llewellyn, stabs through this thing's form as it runs and finishes it off. Llewellyn stands there looking and looks at you, Ewan, in your bear form, and says, "Well done. Protect the king." And turns around and just begins to kind of keep guard here. That is the end of the little darklings. 3 of them are now dead. 3 of 4. Ewan, it's your turn.
I'm a mostly pretend I didn't hear that as I step up onto the table.
Yeah.
And Ewan charges the Drider.
Charges the Drider. Go for it.
Absolutely. I'm just gonna run up to the fucking. I don't get anything special for charging, but I'm gonna run up to her. And actually, I would like to try to knock her prone with this attack.
So that's gonna be a shove. So go
Yeah.
ahead. It's your athletics versus her athletics or acrobatics. I'm gonna be honest with you. She was reckless last turn. You have advantage on this athletics check as a bear.
We love to hear that. Very beneficial.
She also has disadvantage.
Does have disadvantage.
Based.
She rolled better. So that's
21.
25.
Oh my god.
That's with disadvantage.
With disadvantage, she rolled
Damn.
a 17 and a 19.
Damn, that's
Gross.
impressive for her.
It is very impressive. She is not knocked prone.
No, she isn't. But also, I'm the only one who knows about the dickhead in the ceiling. Do I happen to be within about 30 feet of him now?
At this point,
Or ish?
close, more like 50 feet,
Like 50?
but pretty much
Oh,
straight
gosh.
up at this point.
Pretty much straight up 50 feet. Oh, golly. Well, that does change what I'm going to do. Instead, I'm going to attempt to bite the Drider around the skull.
As your second attack,
Yeah,
go for it
for
with
sure.
advantage.
I'd love to hear that.
Just terrified that she has my shadow.
Yeah, she does. Don't worry. It'll be like a windpipe crushing, not like a skull smashing. Ideally. But I super duper hit. 23.
Definitely hits. Roll damage.
Okay. I love being a bear, guys. It's so neat. So neato burrito to be max damage.
Love to hear that.
That's 12 damage.
12 damage. She's looking pretty bad.
Yeah, and I believe the rules of Wild Shape say that I keep my class features as long as I could reasonably use them. Would I be able to use my bonus action to attack as though I were making an unarmed strike?
Yeah.
Base. That's a natural 20.
Go ahead and roll double the damage dice.
Am I rolling with the bear damage or am I rolling my monk die?
Whatever a claw attack on your bear would be.
Okay, claw attack. So, oh, nice. Ooh. 17 points of damage.
17 points of damage.
As after Ewan does the bite around the neck, he just really, like, way too quickly for what a bear should normally move like. The claws crunch in a little bit and just jab into the side.
Wild. Some weird Naruto shit.
A little bit. That's
Cool.
my turn, though.
That is the end of Ewan's turn. The large Darklings are going to both walk down the steps that were just a few steps, but from the main doors, and both are going to reach out their hands, and in two separate places on the long table, darkness is going to start to expand. That is going to put two 15-foot so two 30-foot diameter spheres of darkness on the table, which is going to envelop the entire high table in darkness. That is the Darkling Elder's turn. Juniper, it is your turn. Everything has gone dark. Unless you have the Eldritch, what are your two things that you picked for your Eldritch invocations?
I have. What did I pick? Agonizing Blast and Beast Speech.
Yes. So you cannot see a thing. You can't even see with dark vision right now. It is fully pitch black all around you.
Can Juniper feel the table in front of her?
You can still feel everything around you, yeah.
Cool. Would lighting the table up with fairy fire help?
If you can certainly try.
Yeah, she's gonna touch the table and cast fairy fire.
You poof out fairy fire, and you see no light. It is still pitch darkness around you. You feel that the spell happened. It's just you're not seeing anything in the darkness. Actually, let me make sure
It's advanced darkness.
Objects and affected creatures shed dim light in a 10-foot radius.
Yes. Yeah. You don't see the light. You don't see the fairy fire.
Well, shit.
That don't mean it's not there.
Yeah, you definitely felt the spell happen. And I believe fairy fire is concentration. So you do feel that you are concentrating on the spell. The spell was cast. It's just you're not seeing the fairy fire right now.
Well, yeah. Oh, that was me casting a spell, so that was my action for my turn.
Correct.
So.
Actually, you still have a bonus action. You do have movement.
I don't have anything that counts as a bonus action right now.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the end of my turn.
Okay, I'm gonna stay right where you are. Let's go to the Lady Caradwin is going to attempt to dispel the darkness. Darkness is a what is it? It's a 2nd level spell. So dispel magic.
Is a 3rd level spell, right? Dispel magic's a 3rd level spell, right?
It is. So it does just one of the spheres of darkness is eliminated, which is the one closer to where the king was. The one that was overlapping with Juniper is the one that is still active. And the people who are affected by that darkness right now are Juniper, Omenda, the Drider, and Ewan. So keep that in mind. That is Caradwin's action. As a bonus action, she turns to you, Kyra, and says, "Is there someplace else in the room you'd rather be right now?"
Landing on top of that massive spider.
I can arrange that. And she is going to reach out with her bonus action and touch your shoulder, and you feel the pure magic of springtime from her mother wrap around you, and you appear in the air above the darkness and begin to fall down into it.
Pog.
That is her turn. Who can my dear friend see? Funnily enough, because of what just happened, can see Kyra. So Kyra, I would like for you to make for me a where's my spells? There we are. Actually, I'm not even gonna do it that way. I'm going to why do you not have the item you're supposed to have? There we go.
I will be right back.
Okie dokes. Does not require attunement. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to roll to hit Kyra.
Oh no! Oh no!
That is a 12 to hit Kyra. You from up in the air, you feel something whiz by your head, and you see the glint of a dagger that's dripping some sort of liquid just sail past your head and into the darkness, and you hear it into the table.
Loser! You're a loser!
I was gonna try and see if I could catch it, but I am not a monk.
You are not a monk. Yeah, I would say, Kyra, go ahead and make a perception check at disadvantage for me. Actually, it's becoming nighttime. You don't have to do disadvantage right now if you don't want to.
Oh, I gotta remember great weapon fighting.
Yes.
Re-roll them dice.
21.
21.
Yeah.
You, instead of you think briefly about catching it, and you hear it brrr into the table, and you just flick your head up, and out of your peripheral, up in the rafters of the building, you see Ophalon, with a sneer on his face, having just chucked a dagger at the back of your head. That is, let's see,
Can I spin my head around at the Ophalon doppelganger, and I just say, I liked you better when you were crying.
You see a brief shift in the form, and for just a moment, the goat-like face has two very frog-like eyes that then transition back into the satyr face of Ophalon.
Did I see that?
Not you. Still are not aware of what's happening up there.
Oh
It's up
yeah,
in the
I can't
rafters.
see. Right.
At the end of Ophalon, or fake Ophalon's go, it is Arbiter Llewellyn who is going to take his pike and put it into the hand, his other hand, and he's going to reach out and touch the King Math on the shoulder and end a poison effect using his healing pool. His what's it called? Lay on hands.
I know that's not how it looks, but I just imagine from the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Touches the shoulder, and you see the king
Yay.
take a
Lay on
full
hands.
real breath and kind of wipe the black goo from his face. Which means so that's that. Arbiter Llewellyn's turn is over. Ophalon, it is your go. A bunch of darkness just kind of erupted around the table, but then some of it went away. There is still one of the little darkling creatures that is just kind of you can just see the back side of it on the outside of the one of these things of darkness, or this remaining thing of darkness. There are definitely the two big ones over towards the doors, and then you see the Drider. Like, you don't see the Drider, you hear the Drider creature in the darkness somewhere.
Sure. Can I see Kyra from where I'm at?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
She is up in the air,
Okay.
above, falling towards the darkness.
What would I have been able to perceive who she was talking to up in the rafters?
Make a perception check.
Try and make with disadvantage. Whee!
I believe
Because
in you, Ophalon.
I'm tired.
You are tired.
She's got your shadow.
All right, that's better than I was expecting. 15
15.
plus a 0.
I think on a 15. Oh, well, let me make a stealth check for my dear friend up in the rafters.
It did just make an attack.
Did just make an attack.
It did just make an attack. You are correct, but he's got a feat.
Good for them.
They've got a feat. Kyra caught it. Ophalon, unfortunately, I'm still going to give you a chance to roll for it. Or no, you already rolled. I'm not going to roll for her, so a 15 I am going to rule is a success. You do see Kyra briefly looking up into the rafters, and you do see a familiar, like, shaggy goat-like legs, and your own leering face looking down upon everything.
Ophalon sees his doppelganger, and it's like it's the music from Kill Bill, that wee, wee, just like he feels just anger.
Yeah.
How high are these
About
rafters?
50 feet up in the air.
50 feet up. Is there anything that I could climb?
There are pillars that kind of line the sides of the room, but you can certainly try to climb if you would like.
Well, that doesn't seem like the best option in the world. So instead, I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers
Okay.
on my doppelganger. So they make a Wisdom save.
Wow, Dissonant Whispers has a 60-foot range. That's wild.
Yeah.
Galpa, ba-da-ba-da. Where'd you go? There you are. That's gonna be a Wisdom save.
Yes.
6.
Cool. They fail.
Yes, they do. Go ahead and roll damage.
That's 3d6 psychic damage.
3d6. Roll that. Damage.
So that's 8.
8 points of damage. Okay.
And they must use their reaction if available to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
The reaction is available. And they
Can I make the argument that they would go, "Ow, my head," and fall?
No, because that would be getting closer to you.
That's fair.
Being now so frightened that it must run its full movement away from you, you see this creature like basically sees that you see it there, and like its eyes get wide, and it kind of flinches as the psychic damage hits, and you just watch as it just sinks into darkness and disappears.
Oh, and to do so, Ovlon just like he whistles.
Yeah.
Just so, and just layered a little bit in there. The doppelganger hears, "You have my face, and I'm going to take it away from you."
Ooh, terrifying. Yeah, it vanishes. It runs, turning into shadow like a fucking heartless, and just disappearing into the shadow.
Ovlon just shouts, "I will find you!" Now let's see here. So, and just all around in the center of the room is dark.
Just one spot in the middle of the table right now. It is Omenda, the Drider, Ewan, and Juniper that are all being, and then some NPCs that are still paralyzed. But it's those people that are active in combat that are affected by this darkness.
All right, and then when you're in the darkness, you still can't see other things in it, right?
You haven't gone into the darkness. You don't know yet.
That's fair.
Oh, you were partially in it. Yeah. When the darkness that was on you was there before Caradwin dispelled it,
yeah.
it was fully dark. There was no visuals at all.
Okay. But like the Driders in the other dark orb, not visible.
Correct.
Okay. Are there any more of the darklings that are visible?
You see the backside of one that is just barely sticking out of the edge of the darkness sphere over near where Omenda was.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna truck on over to him and use action surge. I'm gonna stab him in the ass.
Yeah, go for it.
Stab me in
Go
the
ahead
ass.
and make that attack with advantage for me.
Tight.
Because unknowingly to you, you are flanking with Omenda right now.
That's a natural 20.
Go ahead and roll that
Hilarious.
damage.
I rolled a 10 and then a 20. Roll
yeah.
that beautiful bean footage. So okay, so that'd be 4d4, correct?
Yes.
So that's a 2, which I'm gonna re-roll. Great weapon fighting for a 3.
Okay.
And then a 4, so that's 7. 1, which I'll re-roll for a 3, so that's 10.
Yep.
And another 3 for 13, plus 3 for 16 damage.
Yeah. In one flurry of attacks, Ophalon, you scatter this creature into just shadowy vapor.
I'm up 2. And he's just gonna like,
um,
and that'll be the end of my turn.
you got it. At the start, or at the top of initiative, make a roll. Oh no. King Math enters the initiative at a 4.
Oh no. Going after
unfortunately.
me. Brutal.
So that won't be for a while. But that's going to bring us back to the top of the initiative. The spider creature is going to go. Kyra, you are heading down into the shadow right now. Nobody can see into the darkness. Let's see. The creature is going to make 2 attacks at Juniper. It has disadvantage because, well, one, because it's in the, or no, it has, is the thorny, no, the thorny impediment isn't up anymore.
Nope.
So, actually has advantage, even in the darkness.
Kyra can see, right?
Kyra,
I
not
can.
in do you have Devil's Sight?
I do. That was one of my
Um,
things.
That's so. Do you have to be in the magical darkness to see in it, or does it just not affect you?
It doesn't specify. I think it'd be
Make it
cool
like
if
the
I just,
Byakugan.
if it was like a shade, like a
I
like a
think-
little
yeah, I
bit things
think
were
from
like
a distance it looks like I think from and once you're in it, it's like it isn't there. But when you're outside of it, I think it looks like you're looking into a place with dark vision. So it's still shades of gray, but you can in fact see this creature. And so you watch as it takes 2 big swipes with its claws at Juniper. That's going to be a 25 to hit.
Ow.
And a that's so low. A 12 to hit.
That still meets.
Oh boy. That is.
she
going
do
to
be a squishy spellcaster though.
She do be a spellcaster though. That is going to be. Oh, fuck me. I used the wrong dice. Hold on.
X paw.
17 points of slashing damage into you, Juniper.
Ouch.
And Kyra, you watch as she slashes into Juniper twice, and then her head, which still looks like Juniper's, cracks back and looks straight up into your face, and holds up one of the long claws and just says, ah, 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 and vanishes in a puff of smoke within the darkness.
You didn't say the magic word.
Using her bonus action to Misty Step. So you do see her rematerialize, but on the other side of the room, on the wall. That is her go, which is going to bring us to your go, Kyra.
Okay,
As you fall into the shadow, you're gonna make a dexterity saving throw for
totally.
me.
I'm real good at those.
You are very good at those.
That was a natural 20.
Good. It would have been max 1d6 of damage anyway, but you take none. As you land on the table in the darkness, Juniper, you feel something disappear in the darkness in front of you, and then hear a thud on the table in front of you.
I have a quick question though about the darkness. Why is it that the fairy fire didn't work?
So fairy fire outlines things that are invisible. You would need to be able to see through magical darkness to see anything. The darkness supersedes the fairy fire. The fairy fire only reveals things that are invisible. Nothing there was invisible.
It doesn't count as non-magical light.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, it's just not strong enough, right?
Yeah, it's just
It's
not
the first level spell versus
it's a first level spell
second.
versus a second level spell.
Darkness just got that dog in it.
Yeah. But Kyra, it's your go.
All right. What I'm gonna do is Kyra watches this spider cunt disappear, break her own neck, and then disappear, and reappear across the room, and Kyra kind of rolls her eyes before going into a tuck and roll and landing. Reaches out and grips Juniper's hand and just says, "You're not alone, I'm right here." And then pulls her bow and aims it at the spider lady.
You got it.
And I would like to cast Favored Foe with this attack.
Yes, absolutely.
Poggers. And also, simultaneously. Or not cast Favored Foe, initiate Favored Foe, and then...
Yeah, you will, which will happen automatically if you hit.
Yeah. And then if I... Yeah. Should I? Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Abso-fucking-lutely I do.
Oh yeah.
25?
25 does hit, yeah.
Pog. And then I'm going to Ensnaring Strike. I'm going to try to. Fingers crossed. Please,
save
for the
on
love
that?
of God. It's 14.
14. What kind of save?
Strength.
Don't forget your Hexblade's curse.
Oh, yes. And she does. I do have Hexblade's. Oh, no. I have Hexblade's curse on her. Oh, no.
She's going to get an extra you're going to get a +2 to the damage roll of that attack.
Right.
She rolled a... she doesn't... What am I doing? She doesn't have damage. This isn't a dex save.
Please work, please.
She got a... she does have a +8 to strength saves.
Oh, my God.
She got a 22.
Oh, my God.
Got it.
Ah!
She's a big old
I'm so
spider.
angry about
It
it.
is a big spider lady.
Yeah.
It would
it's
help
fine.
if I
It's
could
whatever.
see them.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. She's Favored Foe. That's all that mattered. I'm still gonna fucking beat the shit out of her.
You do still hit her, so go ahead and do that damage.
Yeah. And Favored Foe also gives me a D4. That's 11 points of damage, piercing damage.
Okay. She looks real bad.
Fuck.
Real bad.
Angry. Okay. It's fine.
Alrighty. Is that the end of your turn, Kyra?
I can't do anything else.
Okay. The Lady Rhiannon is up. And she is going to, looking towards, looking around. You see, she like squints over towards the spider creature. She's gonna pull her bow. Make a couple of attacks. No advantage. Or no, there is advantage. She did attack recklessly. I don't... How is that possible?
What?
Okay, the first attack misses.
Hmm.
That's so wild. Okay, second attack. Oh my god. It just hits, but Jesus Christ, one of those was a nat 1.
Oh goodness.
Oof.
The creature is going to take 13 points of damage. And you watch as this arrow that flies through the air catches this Drider creature in the neck. And you see it just starts to laugh and looks at all of you. And again, like a Heartless in Kingdom Hearts, just becomes part of the shadow on the wall, retreating into it. Let's see. Because she has taken quite a bit of damage. What was that laugh?
The lamp by Travis's desk turned off.
Oh yeah, it was dark
I'm
for a
just
while.
sitting here in the dark.
At the end of Lady Rhiannon's turn, who just fired this shot and can't believe she missed on the first one, is like, she has this look about her like, that was a killing blow. What the fuck happened? All of you hear a voice ring out through the entire room, just echoing that smarmy voice that you've taken to associating with the blue-haired Nil. As this echoing voice calls throughout the room, "Righto, lads, we got what we came for. Time to scarp her." And that's the end of Nil's turn. The 4 smaller Darklings are dead. The fake Ophalon has vanished. The fake, the Drider using Juniper's face has taken a significant chunk of damage and retreated to the shadows as night has fully fallen outside. All of you watch as the 2 large Darklings by the door retreat into the ground. The darkness in the middle of the table disappears as King Math is rising to his feet, and you all hear a little shout. And up in one of the windows that's open behind the fire, to allow the smoke to escape, you see the silhouette of a blue-haired woman, a scroll in one hand, uses it to give a little salute, and just jumps backwards out of the window. Omenda.
How high up is the window?
So she is about 40 feet up, but she is about, I would say, 80 or 90 feet away, because she's all the way at the back of the room behind the bonfire.
Right. Okay.
Yep. And you just see, all of you watch as she just steps backwards out of the window and disappears. in this short amount of time, you see the king standing, and you see Caradwyn and the Arbiter getting people cured of this poison, and these religious leaders starting to help the others that have been affected as well. You see Caradwyn and Rhiannon look at each other in horror as the king feels around his neck, realizing that the key was taken, and says, oh dear. The Court of Whispers has receded on this eve of Beeltena. The festivities down in the city will continue into the night, but here within the castle, a great powerful magic has just been stolen, along with the shadows of two of your companions. That is where we are going to end this session. We will pick up for yet another session on the day of Beeltena, but the day of Beeltena will finally end next session.